I'm just gonna go live. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special event tonight. We have an interview with Jake Rattlesnake, or Jake from Rattlesnake TV. He just ended over there and raided. Thank you very much for the raid. And as soon as he pops in, I will bring him up and we will have a discussion, an interview. And after the interview, we will do a little bit of open panel. I've handpicked some people who would like to say hi, maybe ask a question. Also, if you have questions for Jake in the panel time, $10 and up, I will ask the question. Please keep them respectful. And yeah, we'll ask him during that period of the interview. So as soon as he is in the waiting room, I will pull him up and we will begin the interview. It's good to see you all. Thank you for coming. I got a bunch of new emojis also. Oh, thank you. $5 dono from OG2ENV. Um, so yeah, I got a bunch of new emojis I put into place. Get yourself a membership so you can play with them. They're pretty awesome. Uh, I thought that talk with Jake and Jesse Lee Peterson was a lot of fun. That was pretty cool. Um, so yeah, let's see. Okay. Just responding to some messages here. So, oh, it's real. It's on the wall. But it's funny that my little Abe is standing on it like that. I didn't plan for that, but it's kind of funny that he is standing on it. Okay, and we have Jake in the back here. I'm going to pull him up and we will start this up. Jake, good to see you.
Good to see you. How are you, man?
I'm well. I'm well.
That's
So
the way.
we've been on panels at the same time, but I've never really gotten to talk to you one on one before, so I thought this would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Awesome. Let's do
Yeah.
it.
So I guess I really appreciate you giving me this a little bit of time here. Uh,
No
let's see. So,
no problem, man. No problem.
all right. So I guess. Oh, I was going to tell you. So my plan was we'll do some questions for a little bit, and once we get through the questions, we can BS. Uh, but I was going to do a hand-picked open panel at the very end. Um,
Yep,
Misty said you had basically 1 hour to do this, so I figure we'll do the questions. Once we get through those, do the panel, and yeah,
sure. Let me just
okay,
put this over here though, because it looks like I'm kind of looking away from you, I think. So this is good.
sure.
Yeah,
You want to look, yeah, look at each other. Okay.
yeah.
Oh, I'm going the wrong way. I hate
No, I
that.
think
The
you're
reverse
fine.
camera.
You're sort of looking you're sort of looking centrally, so that's fine.
Okay. All right. All right. So, Mr. Rattlesnake,
Yes, sir.
if you had to tell someone that doesn't know you or your content who you are, what would you say to them?
I would say I am a retarded Australian who rode a kangaroo to school every single day and then barely finished high school, tried to go to university 4 times, failed every time because I absolutely hated it. And the teachers were like my enemies. And then did lots of crazy things in my 20s, early 20s, all the sex, drugs, and rock and roll, as we like to say. And then eventually sort of started to look into the ideas of started boxing, which really sort of straightened me out and gave me a little bit of discipline, lost a bunch of weight. And then eventually I got into politics and ideas a little bit more because I had a girlfriend who broke up with me. And then I was like, I felt a little bit like dumb. Like she had this family of doctors and stuff. So
Okay.
then I was like, oh, I kind of feel a little bit retarded. So I was like, if I want to impress chicks from now on, I've got to, be smarter. So I guess it was just kind of trying to impress chicks.
That's a
And then
great
so I
way to feel
started
lesser than, right?
well, yeah, and then I started watching the Joe Rogan podcast because I was like, they talk about smart shit, and then doing that, and then eventually, I think that's how a lot of guys sort of got into it. They started talking, like watching Rogan and stuff.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the more conversations on here, the more I learn about all kinds of stuff I had no idea even existed in the first place. And then all of a sudden, I'm like being educated by other people about worldviews I didn't even know existed. So
Yeah,
it's kind
yeah,
of bizarre.
yeah, true.
But I agree with you too on the fighting thing. So I would say any martial skill that you spend the time training in or getting uh, pummeled, basically. I think that level of both self-discipline in the training and humility from
Mm.
getting the tar kicked out of you is actually huge for males, for men. I think it's very important for self-development through that.
Oh yeah, dude, 100%, man. Like it's it's imperative actually because you often meet times you meet a lot of guys who are like they've never really been humbled and beaten up in that way, and then so they go through their whole entire life, and they might have a high position in their career where they have people under them and they treat people like shit, and that's because they've never really been humbled themselves and never really sort of had that like ego death, which I think is really important. So in that way, it's important. It's important in terms of uh, like actual discipline and keeping your mind and body fit. So yeah. Also, if you're ever in a tough situation, like in a sort of like a situation where you might see red, then to have that is actually really important because you have that self control in those situations. Like if you're in a combat situation very often and you are sort of getting beaten up and you're having to like stay calm and not overreact and get yourself hurt even worse or overreact and then sort of, blow out and get really tired and stuff, then, you're going to be able to handle pressure situations a lot better.
I agree with you 100%. And the curse is that if you didn't get that martial training throughout your formative years as a male, you have all the testosterone in your system. So you're going to be lippy and you're going to be aggressive, but you're not going to have any way of utilizing that uh, as a outlet, you know? And then you're going to be lippy and you're going to be foolish with that angst that you've got, and you don't have the self-discipline to keep yourself from stepping into situations that'll get your teeth knocked out.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. You see this? I often think when you're sort of out on a night out or something like that, that the guys who are sort of puffing their chest out and acting really tough, that you don't really have to worry about them because they're weak, and that's a sign of weakness when you're trying to sort of start fights with everybody, and when you overly get a few beers and you're overly intoxicated and you're getting in people's faces. Those guys are normally just like cowards, and this is what they're trying to do to prove it to themselves or others that they're hardcore. It's the quiet ones you've got to worry about. It really
Yep.
is the ones who are very measured and composed in those situations. You're like, it's not this guy's first rodeo.
Yep. Yep. There's definitely signs to watch for,
Oh yeah, for
I
sure.
would
It's
say.
just, you look at the stance is very important, where their eyes are looking as well. Because if you
Hmm.
see it, and the ears, if they've got the cauliflower ears or something, or if they've got like the busted up sort of martial arts face, don't fuck with those guys. Um, But if you're ever in a situation like that, and if the guy is like up in your face, hands down, chest forward, chin up, you're like, okay, well, this guy's obviously not trained in anything. But if you're in that situation, the guy maybe takes a step to the side, he's leading with his shoulder more, maybe he takes a step back. You can see that the arms are at least up at sort of like hip level. Then you're
Hmm.
like, all right, well, I should throw the first punch here because this guy has, he's probably got some training.
Yeah, you can see he's got the stance, and beyond that, he's not going to telegraph because he's fought. He's not going to let you know what's coming. He's just going to come. So you better be ready first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%, man.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess I'll move on to the next question. How has your own journey from a challenging background to become a content creator influenced your views on using media and storytelling to change cultural narratives for the better?
Um, well, I think that I definitely don't have like a conventional background when it comes to, I guess, what you'd call Christian conservatism. It kind of feels even a bit like icky coming off my tongue, to be honest, because of of who I am, and I'm in the process right now of actually trying to get involved in a church and trying to go to church every week and to try and like, make that a part of my life, as opposed to just sort of thinking about it all the time and just
Mhm.
thinking about the ideas and the logic and all of that. So, like, it's a process for me that's like I'm very much in my infancy with. Um, but I guess maybe it's a little bit more relatable for a lot of people because I do feel as though a lot of people have gone down that path where they've been, degenerate and where they've been um, raised, maybe even raised some sort of a religious, but then
Mhm.
as they went along in life, they just sort of discarded it because we live in such a materialist world. So I feel like a lot of people have a similar sort of path, and then they spend their 20s doing all kinds of stuff, and then eventually maybe they have kids, or maybe they start to think about the deeper ideas, or maybe crazy shit is happening all around them, and they start to think, well, what else is there? So perhaps it's a little bit more relatable in that way. Like I wasn't from some sort of like a white picket fence, uh, you know, high income household where mum and dad were were like, the perfect two-family household, two-parent household the entire childhood. My dad got really sick and he died when I was young, so like there was all kinds of tumultuous times that happened with me when I was younger. So yeah, just not the conventional way that you might see like a Ben Shapiro or someone like this, playing the violin when like prodigiously when he's 14
Right.
from a rich family and that, so maybe it's a little bit more relatable.
Yeah, I think you have insight into the way that many people are living kind of outside of what we are prescribing should be, right? We want the two-parent households. We want high birth rate. We want families. And you know what it's like to not have that.
Hmm.
And that I would say that what is it, like 50% or something of people are living that way today. They're raised with one parent in the household, no real cohesion. They don't understand relationship dynamics well because of it. So you have almost like a shoe in to understanding how they would feel in their life.
Yeah, and also a lot of traveling as well has been interesting. Like I started traveling when I was young. I first moved overseas when I was just turned 19. I moved to London and lived there for 3 years by myself, and um, kind of just been doing my own thing for quite a while now. So um, going around the world, traveling a lot, I really had to sort of like everything that I've got, I really had to dig it out of the mud, and and seeing a lot of different cultures, interacting with a lot of different cultures as well was, I think, another interesting part. Whereas perhaps a lot of people don't really leave the West as much who talk about these global geopolitical issues and everything. So I feel like it gives me some sort of an insight. And I've got a bit of a passion project that I do in terms of my travel channel. Sometimes I'll go and do vlogs and everything of these different places that I go to for a bit of fun.
I think that's awesome. That's actually one of the goals that I have. My wife and I have talked about it much about doing some traveling, but also doing cultural specific stuff when we travel because we both enjoy traveling. And I think that's a great way to show people who don't get that opportunity or even inspire people who don't have that opportunity to step it up so that they can go out and do those things. Because anybody can do it. You just have to
Mm.
really do it, right?
Yeah, yeah. You just got to
You got to
book.
pour yourself into it.
One of my favorite people from the past is a guy named Hunter S. Thompson. You know him, Fear and
Hmm.
Loathing in Las Vegas.
Hmm.
And one of his documentaries is called "Buy the Ticket, Take the Ride." That was my motto for a while. Buy the ticket, take the ride. You don't know where
It
it's going
makes
to take you.
sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
that's him. That poster right there is Hunter S. Thompson.
Oh,
Can't really see it, but
that's awesome though.
yeah.
So, okay, so I'll move on to the next one, I suppose. So, from your perspective, in videos like your Jubilee middle ground debate, what do you identify as the primary cause of the growing divide between traditional and progressive Christianity in the West?
So say that bit again. The first bit.
Um, from your perspective in videos like the Jubilee middle ground debate,
Okay.
what do you identify as the primary cause of the growing divide between traditional and progressive Christianity in the West?
I actually didn't watch that Jubilee middle ground debate with Ali Beth Stuckey there.
Hmm.
I just thought that it was such a piss take from Jubilee to get a woman to do that. It's like kind of a subversive thing. They definitely should have gotten a man because you can't actually represent conservative Christianity. I'm actually not against
I agree
women
with you.
debating Christianity. I
Hmm.
think that women can definitely debate. Like I think that Rachel Wilson is a
Right.
fantastic representation of Christianity from a female perspective.
Agreed.
Um, and I did a natalism debate with her the other week where they were debating about natalism. So that's something where we need mothers to be on the forefront of those, for example. And I actually don't even mind the whole trad wife thing. People criticize it a lot. I think there is a lot of there is a lot of valid criticism of the ones who are making the sandwich with their titties shaking and stuff.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of valid criticism. However, I also do think that we have to recognize that we're in a propaganda war, and young women in particular are very susceptible to propaganda. And
Absolutely.
all of the propaganda out there is, wearing the man suit and their
Hmm.
fluffy notepads and look at me, boss babe, traveling all the time. That's what we're dealing with. So we have to have a bit of pushback, which is the homesteads and the fucking goats and getting the milk and having 8 kids. And so I do think that there is that. But uh, in terms of the Jubilee debate, I would have liked to have seen, somebody who was, basically any Catholic or Orthodox man who was a high level debater, Jay Dyer, Tim Gordon, these sorts of
Right.
guys would have been good if you ask me. And then say that last bit about progressive Christianity and
Well, what's the primary causes of the growing divide between like the progressive Christianity and in the traditional and progressive Christianity in the West? What's the division between the two, do you think? What's the
I would say the
primary?
division would be the Protestant Revolution that happened in the 16th century, because previously to that, there was some sort of like a church authority that
Yep.
that that they had to adhere to, and then after, when you have the idea of sola scriptura, it's like we can interpret the Bible any way we really want to, and everybody's interpretation is different, but nobody's interpretation is really correct unless it's according to you. So anybody can really do whatever they want with the Bible, and then this is where the modern world, like when I go to the Orthodox service, I'm asking them what's happening here, and they're
Hmm.
basically telling me um, that this is something that they used to do 2,000 years ago. Like, they would prepare the service and they would be doing these songs and singing, and they would be getting the bread. And it's like, all right, so this actually hasn't changed over the last few thousand years. That's cool. Like, I feel like I'm anchored to some tradition here. But if I go in there and I see LGBTQ flags, it's like
Right.
that's just of the world, and it doesn't feel
Sickening.
like I'm in the house of God right now.
So you think it's a stepping away of the traditional values for modernity that has been the dividing factor?
Yeah, like I'm really not really one to speak on this because I'm so in my infancy when it comes to any sort of theology. So I'm really
Right.
not an authority on this whatsoever. And I don't really talk about it at all. But yeah, that's sort of just the way I see it is that so a lot of the times the criticisms of Christianity, even with people who are wrestling with their own faith, is that, well, I go to the church and nobody has even read the Bible, nobody knows what they're talking about, and I'm like, well, that's kind of to be expected because most people are not really interested in ideas. Let's just put it that way. So the idea of having a church authority is that actually combats that. So you're making an argument for orthodoxy in that regard because most people aren't going to really read the Bible. They're not going to spend their whole entire life studying theology. So they need a church authority. When I want to know about the filioque, or when I want to know about what is really meant by speaking in tongues, I send Jay Dyer a message and I say, hey, man, what is this? And he'll tell me, and then I accept that. So
Right.
I'm so it sounds like a low IQ thing to do, but I think that that's necessary because there are going to be people who are much more well versed in these things than you, and that's the idea of a church authority structure and actually
Right.
adhering to that rather than we're all our own gods.
Right. And I would say a couple of things people could do too, right, is go read your scripture, but also read things that explain why this divide exists, right? Rachel's book is actually pretty good for that. It
Mm,
explains where these divisions started and how they continued to propagate. And of course, talking to people like Jay or Jim Bob or whoever is in who you can turn to and ask the questions about these things. You know,
mm.
who have a better understanding maybe than you do.
Yeah, but I'm doing my
Definitely
own
Jay.
study in my own time, um and I'm trying to basically consult people who are so I don't step on any bad heresies because I'm really, really susceptible right now to stepping into bad heresies. So I try my best not to go off on about this stuff.
That's fair. That's fair. One of the things I try to do, like here on my channel, is foster communication between people, groups, and different types of people. So one of the things I've found recently is that you have a pretty big division between different Christian groups and like between Orthodox Christians and Protestant Christians, and trying to build a bridge between that of understanding so that we can either move towards the correct direction or at the very least stand together in saying we need a unified front when it comes to changing culture.
Mm.
So I think that that is a very important bridge to build if it is buildable. So,
Yep.
and I see you're doing much the same actually. You're trying to pull people into saying, hey, wait a minute, we have to take a stance. What is the right stance?
Yes, yes, and it is difficult sometimes because like I see a lot of judgment from especially Protestant Christians, actually only really Protestant Christians in this regard. Like I wanted to have a guy on my channel last week. I'm not going to say any names, but he's a Protestant Christian guy. I think he's a Protestant Christian. Yeah, he's not a part of the traditional churches. And then, he's got an interesting backstory. It's all about the new age and this sort of thing. And I wanted to have him on because I saw him on a few podcasts. I was like, hey, man, come on the channel. We'll do an interview. And he messages me this long message saying, hey, and we lined up the interview. And then he messages me like a few days later saying, hey, man, I don't really want to come on the channel anymore. Don't think I can align with it because some of the guests you've had on, I couldn't sort of align myself with and some of the behaviors on your channel. And I'm like, this is why we're not escaping the charges because it's so pompous and arrogant. It's like I will go and pretty much speak to whatever. I mean, I'm here with Abe Dinkus right now, the one and only Abe Dinkus.
Hmm. Should have just had me
A-
on.
Abraham Dinkus. No. But no, I don't really care. Like, I don't really like Abe. I don't really know that much about you. I'm going to assume you're a Christian.
Yep.
You're more on the conservative side of things. But
Hmm.
for all I know, you could have been whatever. I haven't done a deep dive into your content. But if you've got some things you want to share with me, then let's talk about it. But this guy sent me this long message saying I can't go on because of these behaviors. He's basically tone policing me. And I'm like,
Right.
dude, how are we ever going to win if every platform we ever go onto, we have to do a big audit and a thorough audit and see if we can align with the behaviors? And it's like people don't want to involve themselves with Christians if you're so unrelatable.
Hmm. I've had a lot
So
of discussions about this. The whole purity-esque movement of the
it's like a purity
puritanical
spiral, dude.
churches. Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I've been Protestant like my whole life, but I'm standing here looking at everything, and oftentimes what I see is exactly what the Orthodox is saying. Now, I've struggled really hard with trying to figure out if I should move towards Orthodox Christianity, and I swear to you, I've moved closer and closer the more I look, because I agree that like there's just schismatic, everything's schismatic on the Protestant side, and it feels to me like it's fractured more and more and more and more, to the point where which one is what, like which one of those is the right one? Because at this point it's just every which direction, and at the very least, like you said, you have Orthodoxy over here holding to its truths, holding to what it's done since the beginning, and it's like,
Yeah, I mean, when I go into like I've been to a lot of I started off going to the Protestant churches and like gut level it just never felt right to me because I would go in there and I would it was like a mega church, Hillsong, the first one that I went to. And and you'd go in there and these guys would be all like, like humping the air and like nearly crying, and it felt so performative to me. And it
yeah,
felt like extremely feminine. Like if I was gonna build a church around pure femininity and how women would want to do it, lots of attention up the front, being the most Jesus, Jesus is my boyfriend, um, and just sort of like and doing all that, then that's what I would envision. And all these guys were just like so feminized, and it felt very off to me. And they would pressure you into like putting your hands up and stuff. And I was like, I don't want to put my hands up. I want to sit here and I just want to watch and I want to listen to what you're saying. I'm not going to put my hands up and start humping the air. And I felt like a pressure to do that. And then I went to another one, and this church, it was like it was like in a beach club, right?
mm,
And there was all chicks there with their cleavage out and everything, just walking around in skanky outfits and everything. I had a hat on, and then I saw some chick after, and she comes up, she goes, "Oh, like you just like keep your hat on in church like that?" And I was like, "Listen, woman, go tell all these chicks to put their tits away, and I'll take my hat off." I was like, "I don't really think I'm in a church right now. If I felt like I was in a church, I'd take my hat off, but I didn't feel like I was in a church because I just saw titties and ass everywhere." So, but anyways, and then I
judgment over
go to
your
the
hat.
Orthodox, and then I go to the Orthodox church, and I'm like, there's like a reverence there. You walk in, and people are like kissing the icons and and very sort of reverent, and I just felt like, all right, this is more serious. This feels like how it should feel on a gut level, and then theologically as well.
Right. I guess one question I would ask you, and I know we just went over this kind of, do you think that bridge building is the best thing we could do at this point? Because we have to change the culture, and I feel like we have to unify some in order to make that happen, because it's too broken otherwise. Like,
Well,
obviously, you're
yeah.
not, like, the Orthodox Church is not going to agree with heretical teachings and heretical actions of Protestants, but there's got to be some way forward, because otherwise they're going to keep doing what they're doing, and Orthodox is
Mm.
going to continue to condemn it because it's wrong. So how do we
Yeah.
change the culture as a unified?
Well, it's interesting. I think that propaganda is probably the best tool for this, because uh, we see how culture changes, and culture changes rapidly. And I think that the big reason why these Protestant churches have gotten so much popularity is because they're sort of more modern, more of the world. They're sort of more moderate. Even if you're a lib, you can still
Mhm.
keep your sort of faith and community, and then we can just adapt to the modern world. But that's actually not going to be in vogue for very long, as far as I can see, because people are wanting something a little bit more masculine, a bit more traditional. People are looking around at
Yep.
the economy and everything, and they're looking around at the atomized way in which we live our lives, separated from family, separated from tradition, and they're looking around and thinking, okay, there's got to be something more to this. So, like, what's actually true?
Right.
The modern world isn't actually serving me very well. In times of more cultural decadence, where the modern world is really serving you, then perhaps you'd want to adapt to it more. But when the modern world isn't really serving you, and you're asking the question of like, what's real here and what's true, and what's an antidote to all of this stuff that I'm seeing around me. If you walk into the Protestant church and you see an LGBT flag, and if you see female pastors and everything, you're going to be like, okay, well, this isn't it. What are they doing over here? And I think that that's actually happening. And I think we're going to see huge trends of that. Like, who have we seen recently? Elijah Schaffer moving
Hmm.
towards orthodoxy, Stephen Crowder moving towards orthodoxy, guys like myself.
Hmm.
Some of the biggest, most prominent ones, Candace Owens, went towards Catholicism. I just think that this is the trend, and that the bridge is already there, but people are just being directed to it and of their own volition a lot of the time.
I think you're right. I think that in our modern day, the comfort has bred weakness, and also with that weakness, a decadence, like a
Mm.
complete decaying of tradition and culture and everything else. And there's a crying out
Yep.
for values and culture and strength. So I would definitely agree with that. Um, Okay, so another question I had. Oh, wait, I was going to say this too. I think that propaganda is absolutely the way forward. I think propaganda, like nepotism, is a thing that's natural to us. It's how we've always functioned, and we allowed people who shouldn't have it to have the reins of those things. The propaganda machines, and putting the people that they wanted in all the places that they wanted. I think that we should take those things back. That is absolutely what has to happen.
Oh yeah, 100%. And this is why I identify with Andrew Wilson so much. It's like, yeah, we're good mates and everything, but also I felt like I was completely like a lone wolf for a while there, because nothing really spoke to me in terms of the messaging. When I looked at the Daily Wire and everything, found those guys totally unrelatable, liked the message and everything, and the what is a woman and all that. That was great. I can get down with that. But then I could never really identify with the more puritanical, like the more sort of purity spiral Christians. I was like, I don't know if you guys would really be ready for a guy like me or get down with a guy like me. I'm sure they would, if I walked into their church, they'd welcome me and everything. But it never really spoke to me in that way. And in terms of the cultural battle as well, I always saw this sort of passive attitude as ineffective, and that never really spoke to me either. So I was a little bit more sort of, conflicted. And then I remember I saw Andrew's debate with Matt Dillahunty that time,
Mhm.
and I saw the way that he went for the worldview and just completely demolished it, and I mean demolished it. And
Mhm.
Matt Dillahunty was completely sidetracked by this because he'd never had that before. What he got was all of these Christians who would come at him and they'd have a nice, peaceful, respectful
Mhm.
dialogue, and then he would be able to obfuscate and talk circles around it, and then never ever get anywhere. But Andrew Wilson came and he cut through it, and he just went for the jugular straight away
Yeah,
and completely
that
destroyed him.
isn't that the one where he rage quit over
He
it?
rage quit. Yeah, he
Yeah.
didn't get through past the opening statements.
Yeah.
So then you've got that, and now I see guys like Mike Jones inspiring philosophy, right?
Mhm.
If you see any of his debates on modern day debate recently, he's been taking on a lot of these old school atheists. He did it at the
Mhm.
last debate con as well. And he's more aggressive, and he's more straight to the point, and he just holds their feet to the fire. And it's honestly, he just drags them,
Mhm.
completely wipes the floor with them. And I know it sounds brutal, and it's not necessarily, I don't know how Christ like this is, but it's very, very effective. And you
I
can
like
actually
Mike.
expose this atheist, secularist worldview for what it is and not
Mhm.
treat these people with kid gloves.
Well, there's a certain level of kindness and peace that we should exhibit, but there's also a level of savagery that must exist as well, right? Like you look to scripture and you see like casting down every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of Christ. You see tearing down the temples of false idols, and there has to be that level as well. And that doesn't mean that everybody needs to run around acting wild, but we do need to stand against it, and we need to stand against it visibly and firmly in a way that
Yeah.
people know we're not going to put up with that shit, you know?
Oh yeah, dude. One of your mods just said in the chat, "Say Christ is Lord." It's funny. There's this meme, this Shia LaBeouf meme that's going
Hmm.
around at the moment. Have you seen that one where he's like, "Say Christ is Lord." Say
Hmm.
Christ. He's like, my theology back in the 2000s was a bit more like peaceful than now. My theology in 2025. It's so true. Like, and I do think that like, man, I was thinking about the Orthodox Church the other day, and just like churches around the world in general. They're being driven out of Syria. They're being murdered in Syria. They're being pitted against each other in Russia and Ukraine. They're killing each other over there. You've got the Armenian genocide that happened in Turkey. Same with the Assyrian genocide. You've got Nagorno Karabakh in Armenia at the moment, where they're being
Hmm.
killed. You've got lots of Orthodox churches being destroyed in Gaza at the moment. Um, this is actually happening everywhere. And then
Nigeria,
you
like
look at
everywhere. Yeah.
Nigeria, they're getting killed. You then
Hmm.
look at Western Europe, they're getting invaded by Islamic invaders. These white globalist liberal scumbags are basically destroying these Christian
Yep.
European civilizations. We are at war on every single front imaginable.
Yep.
We are at war on every single front imaginable. And if we want to keep our civilization intact, then um, we have to really be thinking long and hard about this. We don't have the decadent world of post 60s West
Right.
anymore. We have some massive problems.
Well, and with that, like I would say, as terrible as the death of Charlie Kirk was, it was also it woke the Christians up, and it almost forced a certain level of unification in all of Christianity. Like, hello,
Mm.
this is happening. You need to stand up and do something right now, or you're going to get wiped out.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Like,
And I think that the idea, it's like one of the amazing things about Christianity is this idea of like loving your enemy. But I think it does get bastardized sometimes, my own interpretation. But I think that there's some merit to this interpretation that love isn't necessarily just a passive thing all the time. Love isn't necessarily just like a doormat thing. You have to love them. Love is actually to will the good of the other. And if you want to will the good of the other, then you don't want them to go and chop their cock off and get that sort of surgery. If
yep,
you love the other, then sometimes you want what's best for them, and what's best for them might sometimes even require force.
yep,
So, but the idea of loving your enemy, that's a crazy idea. Uh, the left and the libs and atheists, they don't have this idea. Muslims don't have this idea. Jews don't have this idea. This is a specifically Christian idea, and the idea of forgiveness, loving your enemy, and also the idea that people have God's law written on their heart is also a Christian idea. Because in the other religions, it's sort of like you can lie to the non-believer, you can lie to the goyim, you have
yep,
that you treat them
yep.
like cattle in Islam and Judaism and stuff. But Christianity doesn't believe that. Christianity believes that God's law is written on our heart, and that we know that inherently, and we just need to accept the gift. So there are certain things about Christianity that are just so fundamentally different to other religions, but also can be perceived as, or can be, I guess, used in a way that's a bit more passive and weak at times too.
Well, I think one of the things that I heard Charlie Kirk say, and it was in like a back table discussion, but he said that because we are Christian and because we are conservative, we often find ourselves as defenders rather than offenders. And you cannot defend and defend and defend, because all that means is you're getting slid back while you're holding to the values. We have to press forward, and in order to press forward, we have to offend. And I thought, man, he's absolutely right. In our
Mm.
minds, as conservatives and as Christians, we try to hold to things, we try to defend the things. But in reality, we should be pushing forward for the changes that we want. And if we don't, we'll lose it all.
Yeah, for sure. And if that means, and I think it means us using our different gifts as well. Like if you've got the gift of the gab, if you're good with your tongue, then you can speak. If you're a
Hmm.
really sort of intellectual, studious person, you're good at writing, then you can write. If you're meant for ministry, then you go and do that. Like people have different gifts, and I think that one of my gifts is entertainment and commentary and this sort of thing. And if that means that I've got to go into the den and go to different places where it's not necessarily comfortable or enjoyable, but you can go to battle like that, then for sure. And I do think that there's a spiritual battle that's ever pervasive. And like when I
Right.
met Josiah Trenham at the conference that I went to, for example, the one thing that I really thought was cool is that like he was a very masculine looking guy, very sort of tough, you know. And I wouldn't have wanted to try and pull the wool over his eyes or lie or be deceptive or anything like that, because there was that sort of like presence. And that's the sort of the way that I view Christ as well, is that if you met him when he in the flesh, he would have been kind and he would have been loving, but you wouldn't want to fuck with him either. Like you wouldn't want to try and lie, you wouldn't want to try and
Hmm.
bullshit, you wouldn't want to do anything really sinful in front of him. And I think that Christians, it's not impossible for us to be loving and kind, but also still have that aura, if you will. So,
Well, I can't speak for you specifically, but like in my childhood, I definitely knew older men that were kind people, but they were totally no nonsense, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
those things are not mutually exclusive. They can be present in someone at the same time, and I think that we lost that over time. I really do.
Yeah, yeah. No, I would agree with that. And those are oftentimes the guys that you respect the most, the ones that
Absolutely.
the ones that are you have to sort of do the right thing to get their approval, but then you know that their approval and that is genuine. Like my boxing coach was exactly like that. He was a really tough dude. You wouldn't want to mess with him. You wouldn't want to, any of that sort of stuff. The first time I ever came into the boxing class, um, he brings me over to the bag and he goes, "So you ever done boxing before?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah." No, like, never done any professional boxing or any classes or anything, but I know how to throw a punch. And he was like, "It's like the worst thing you can possibly say if you walk into a
Hmm.
boxing gym. It's the dumbest thing you can possibly say." So he goes, "All right," and then he sort of brings me over to the bag. He's like, "Go on then," and I just start throwing these just spastic combinations, wailing on it. Like, and I was about 110 kilos fat at the time. And then he just roasted me after that. He was like, "Who the hell told you that you could throw a punch?" He's like, "They lied to you." And then what he did was he put a little sticky tape cross on the floor, and then for the next 3 sessions, every time I came in, he would make me step forward, step back, step to the side to get the absolute basic minutia of footwork down. And while he would go train everyone else, and I started to think to myself, "All right, screw this. Like, how long am I going to be around this for?" But the reason why he was doing that was to test my character, and I had to
Hmm.
do that really humbling and embarrassing thing to get into an entry level of respect for myself to then go.
Yep.
And I loved that because that was like the discipline that I needed in my life. And if he had to come in and just said to me straight away, "Oh yeah, you're great. You're a really good fighter," I would have probably not come back. So
Yeah.
I would have gone and done some drugs and drank some alcohol.
Well, it goes back to that whole you have to empty the vessel before you can fill it, right? You're full of bull crap. You got
Mm.
to get rid of that bull crap before you can get the truth in. So
Oh yeah.
I agree with that. So, all right. So I have a couple more questions, and then we can do some panel stuff and ask the questions that chatters are paying to ask. So, um, what will the next generation of lefty debaters look like?
Well, they will look like people who all have a black eye from the likes of Rob Knorr, getting in early and smashing them before they can gain any prominence. But uh, I think they're going to look like um, Dean Withers, Harry Sisson, Luke Beasley. They all look the same. If you were totally honest, they all have the exact same phenotype, or as
True.
Parker would say, the same phenotypical expression. They all the same phenotypical expression as one another. So they're going to look like smug, feminine, little TikTok debaters that need a mute button in order to be able to have an actual debate. They're going to run away from arguments. They're going to run away from debates. But I think that they will just get battered time and time again when they try and step in the arena for actual debates. So I think that they're going to be more or less relegated to TikTok.
Yeah. Ever increasingly feminine men.
Yeah, definitely,
Okay.
and
Sounds about
less
right.
relatable.
I mean, that would have been my guess as well. So,
Yeah.
uh, all right. So, if Andrew Wilson were to step down and hand you the keys to the Crucible franchise, what would be your first order of business?
See how much money Andrew wants to come back. Yeah, yeah. There is no Crucible without Andrew Wilson, so see what he needs to come back.
True.
Yeah.
True. That's a good answer. That's a good answer. All right. So, before I bring people in, is there anything else you wanted to say or ask or anything like that?
No, I think that that's that.
Awesome. 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 Let's see. So, I wanted to get your reaction to this short little clip real quick, and then we will talk to some folks if you're willing here. Okay. Oh, where'd that go? There it is. Okay. Here we go.
You guys all focused up because this is key. Let me get rolling on you here so we know what's happening. Here we go, baby. Get your head under there now. This is vital. See, being the first son, right? That puts him right here in the lower chakra. Now that's shooting energy up into Daniel verse 6. And this, of course, is a dream catcher. So all his dreams are being caught and he can't move on. And that's going back and forth and like that, like a spider web, which is, of course, connecting to the eye of Horus, which is 70777, that's .001, which also goes up. That was the first time he ever swung a baseball bat. Now, what we got here is the baseball ain't hitting the bat because the seams are 17.
After observing several of these exorcisms, I still could not trace the genealogy of any of the scripture he incessantly quoted. There seemed to be absolutely no method to his madness.
But I remember when I built the pyramids, right? It was tough. It was tough as a motherfucker.
You built the pyramids?
Yeah, because we was hauling all the stuff up like that, but we did it all with sound, right? We did it with sound, and then we had a blanket. We had sound and we had a blanket, and it came down like that. You know? That's what I was tripping on. You see, we working on his brow chakra. We're just in back of the crown chakra. And that's why he's been tripped up and he's laid on his car payments and all that stuff.
What does this mean for us?
It means you'll be psychically attacked. You're son number 3. They're coming at you from all angles. They're coming at you from the Sirius, right? They're coming at you from the Orion, okay? Which also connects to Dan, right? Dan's best friend, man's best friend. That's dog. That's the dog star. That's Sirius. That's some serious shit, man. Now your mother, she's just a hoe.
My mother's no hoe.
No. I mean the hoe as in that which pushes the plow through the fields across the star system, coming back around with a meteor shower, which is why there's all them dots up here on the back of his neck.
So where do you lie?
I lie beneath.
Why is he being baptized?
Huh? Hold on, don't move. We cool. What? I just want to keep him in check in case any evil spirits come in while I'm trying to commune with my other son. Hold on now. Don't make me take the clip out. Hold on, baby. We cool. Huh?
Hey, just let him play catch.
All right, let's go play catch. You've been healed.
You've been healed. So,
Unbelievable. I feel like
yes.
that's most of the internet these days.
I feel like that's a lot of people's belief systems these days.
We was gangs, man.
Exactly. All right. So you ready to have some folks up?
Let's do it.
All right. So, lower class, welcome in.
Hey, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
Oh, not too bad. Jake, this is lower class.
Lower class, nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you too, man. How's it going?
Good, thank you.
So these are some of the smaller channel creators in our space, and we're all kind of a conservative cadre who are ships that are rising, as you will. And I figured we would have them come up and ask some questions or say hello. Gentlemen,
Perfect.
Emmett, welcome. Are you muted, Emmett? Sometimes people struggle with
Yo,
mute.
hello. Sorry, I'm a little
Oh.
bit behind. Give me just one second.
Okay. I'm going to read the questions while we wait for others to jump into the back. And what do I have for you here? Okay. Okay, Spiro has the first question here. For Jake, when you step on Australia land, is it like the Star Trek holodeck where the entire place just magically appears? Or is it like a flash of light followed by entering a fever dream? You know, since it ain't real.
Well, it's more like it's just like similar to what he said in the ladder. It's just like a flash and then boom, and then you're a little bit disorientated. Then you got some like kangaroos and Crocodile Dundee and shit coming at you, like forks as knives and shit. So then, yeah, that's pretty much what it's like. It's hard to really explain. You should try it sometime.
I might have to do that. Thank you, Spiro, for that donation. We got JB. We got Abby. Thank you, Abby. I'm happy to see Abe and Rattlesnake have a conversation.
Hey,
Alright.
thanks, Abby.
We got Orthodox Guy. Loving this interview. Thank you, OG. Got Gorilla Biscuits. Lower Class. And we have Dano. Yes. Thank you, Dano. Wait, did I miss any? I don't see. I don't think I missed any. Okay. All right. Gentlemen, do you have a question for Jake or?
Yeah, sure, man. So, I've been considering, contemplating, and farther more like leaning towards starting a catechumen. Have you begun that process yet?
No, funny you should ask that because on the weekend I was just at the Greek Orthodox Church down the road, and I've been going every week, but haven't really been speaking to anyone. I don't like that's the one thing about the ethnic Orthodox churches is that if you're not Greek or if you're not Serbian, if you're not Russian, then sometimes it can be actually hard to talk to people. But then they sort of started talking to me, and they were explaining to me the service, and then they were saying that there are different catechumen programs every quarter, and then there's one in March. So I think that I'll go for that, and then and do that. So
Right on, man. Right on.
yeah,
Yeah, I totally agree and kind of fall in line with the way that you think about like why I would want to go towards that. But um it was there one specific person, or was it kind of like a conglomeration of different people that led you to kind of chase that direction?
I'd say it was a host of different factors. First of all, it was like I said before, the gut reaction to going to the Protestant churches, and then you look into it a little bit more, and you look where all of the more sort of like liberal Christians are going, and it tends to be those Protestant churches. And then it was meeting Josiah Trenum was a big one for me because we had a long conversation about this. Obviously, being friends with the Wilsons is a big thing. Last time I was there at their house, Rachel gave me a care package with a study Bible, Orthodoxy and the Religion of the Future book, Rock and Sand, Josiah's book, and plus a prayer book and an icon as well. So I got to read a fair bit about it. So that was cool. And then I've listened to a lot of Jay Dyer's content as well, and then listen to a bunch of different debates. I don't really understand the intricacies of it, the minutiae as much. Like if you're talking about the different church councils, that goes over my head a little bit sometimes. If you're talking about the filioque debate, that goes over my head a little bit sometimes. So I wouldn't necessarily be there defending it from a theological perspective, but on the body of evidence that I've seen so far, that's what is most appealing to me.
Nice, man. Awesome.
Welcome in, EOD.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's good to see you. How you doing, Jake?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Very good.
Boy.
Emmett. Emmett.
Hello, can you guys hear me? Fine.
Yes.
Yeah. I got that
Uh,
fancy new mic. I didn't know how to work it.
well, it happened. Like I just changed it, and finally it's working. I've been looking at your body of work a little bit, Jake. I listened to some of your work, not all of it. I was very curious about your trip to Europe, the last one. Is I saw that you were in different areas, especially it was Eastern Europe. I'm pretty sure it was that, and I saw like these huge amount of like Muslims in areas and the destruction of monuments and stuff. What do you think of that? Do you think there's a way that we can that Europe specifically can put an end to this tide of immigration?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. A super relevant one because it's kind of a passion project that I do because I go and do a bit of traveling and then I like to also bring in some travel content with that. But it's like I've been around a lot over the last few years. I've been to Colombia and Argentina and spent a bunch of time in Mexico. I would say the sketchiest I've ever felt was in Austria in rather than even Medellin. I was pretty felt like safe enough in these parts of Medellin, but then I went to Austria and I would go to these heavily Islamified areas, and it's like these people are hostile to you. And it's really hard to convey that actually on camera about how hostile they are and how sketchy it is. It's like it's palpable. You can feel it in the air. And the churches are just completely graffitied. If you have a look at this place, it's called Favoriten. It's this part of Austria, very Islamified. It's known for gangs and stabbings and knife crimes and rapes and all these sorts of things. And the church is just completely graffitied the whole entire way around. And this is just a huge problem, and they're not doing anything about it. So, as far as I can see, I know it's a black pilled way to see it, but I think that there's going to be a major conflict between Christian Europeans and Muslims in our lifetime, um, and it's going to be bloody and ugly.
I agree with that. I agree with that. But there comes a time where you have to take that stand, right? I keep telling them that like the further you let this go, the harder the stand is going to be. So either speak up and do something, about it before it gets too far, or you're going to be picking up the pieces later.
Yeah, man. Yep, completely agree.
And there's a reason why, like, the symbolism of the Crusades is starting to become more and more and more prevalent, at least on social media. That thing is within people's minds very heavily right now, especially in countries like Europe that are currently being overrun with Muslims from third world countries.
Yeah, yeah, dude. It's very concerning. For me, it's actually the biggest tragedy that we have faced or that I've faced in my lifetime is the downfall of Christian Europe, because it's such a significant part of the world. It's where so much brilliance comes from. Like, you go to Austria and you look at it's like, Mozart and Beethoven and Strauss and these sorts of guys, and one of the intellectual hubs of Europe. So much artistic brilliance. The old architecture is just beautiful everywhere you go. These cathedrals and churches. It's like the high point of culture. And then you look at what's happening now with all the graffiti churches and everything. It's just the uglification, like all of the communist influence and everything. It's like disgusting compared to what it used to be.
I agree. It's terrible.
Yeah.
The loss of culture.
Jake, how do you feel about them doing a commissioned graffiti in the oldest Anglican church in Europe?
I saw that. The Church of England.
Beautiful, huh?
I mean, it's just like that is if there's anything that screams out trying to be modern and trying to be like fit in with worldliness, it's that. And the Anglican Church of England is meant to be a sort of in between Catholic and Orthodox. In between Catholic and Protestant, right? It's meant to be a little bit more towards the Catholic side because the Church of England was technically a Catholic church, and then Henry wanted to bang some more birds, so he decided to make his own church. But they still like Calvin Robinson is an Anglican Church of England guy. And he's super based and super traditional, and you'd think he's a Catholic if you didn't know better. But now they're doing all this stuff. It's just like,
shit's insane.
Churches
And
are turning into skate parks.
yeah.
we're seeing it happen in Michigan and across parts of California and Oregon, and it's getting crazy. And I recall one of the friends that I used to have. He passed away. Was a radio producer down there in Australia land, and he said that when there was a surge of migration in Australia, the Australians rose up against it and said, absolutely fucking not. What happened? There was an incident with there were a bunch of people praying on the beach, and this lady ended up trying to run out into the water. No, they dragged her out into the water. They dragged this woman out into the water in order to drown her. And the lifeguards and all the people on the beach they tried to interfere. That turned into a huge incident, and there were people rallying in the streets all over Australia.
This was Cronulla. This would have been the Cronulla riots back in the day. There was a movie made about this called The Bra Boys, BRA Boys, and this is a fantastic movie if you guys have never seen it. And I was just thinking to myself when you were saying that, like, when are Australians going to? Because they were demonized and they were seen as racists because they were fighting against a lot of these ethnic gangs who were taking over this places in Sydney, right? So I was thinking, when are the people going to realize that the Bra Boys, they were right? They were right about all of this. But in 2022. We imported over 500,000 people, mostly Indians and Chinese and people from East Asia, into Australia. And our population was like 25 million at the time. So you can imagine that that's a 50th of our population. It's 2%. So in 1 year.
That's huge.
That's nuts.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was wondering, do you see any pathway like to I don't know, act against that? What do you do? Do we vote it or what do you do?
Well, the problem is in Australia, it's like we're so apathetic. The thing I love about America and why I love engaging with American politics is because you guys are like, you live and breathe this sort of stuff. It's like even the sort of smaller issues, you guys are really on like fighting about it. And I like that, but it's because you guys have a little bit more of that sort of like revolutionary spirit in your blood because of the revolution, the American sort of revolution where you kicked out the English, and then the civil wars, and then the different wars you guys have been involved in. I feel like it's a little bit more visceral for you guys. Whereas Australia, if you think about it, we're like an island colony with all of the natural resources you could possibly ever ask for. We're super geographically isolated, where we were up until recently a very homogenous people. It's literally the best place in the world to live until recently. And it's like, to fuck that place up is almost impossible to do. So we just need to get people caring, because life has been so good for Australians that no one cares. But It's a completely different thing to America.
But all my life,
interesting, Jake, is Australia mirrors South Africa. The only difference is we constantly were in strife and war throughout our creation of our country. So you guys just had basically the light route, but the isolation, everything, it mirrors a lot of the stuff that happened with you guys.
Are you still in South Africa there, Chris?
Born and bred and still here, man.
Which part?
Cape Town.
Cape Town. Yeah, my dad.
In the
South
better
African.
part.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
no,
can-
dude, I was with you and Andrew on the Alex panel, and then we spoke a little bit. It was a while ago, but yeah, you mentioned your dad's from here.
Yeah, he fought in the Angola border war and stuff, and I
The
went to
Boer
South
War.
Africa when I was young. Yeah, exactly.
Well,
So
that was against the communists in Angola.
exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's sad what's happened to South Africa, but this is the problem with propaganda and media as well. It's like everybody says that the ANC is just this like heroic thing, and all these different movies being made about it, the revolutionary ANC. But it's like really they're like communist guerrilla warfare fighters who have come and just sort of nationalized all the resources. In Cape Town, don't you guys have power outages all the time because they can't?
Yeah,
Um,
remember, like Cape Town is the LA of the country. The rest of the country is screwed. Cape Town wants to secede from the rest of the country because it's so
Right.
poorly run. But yeah, that's a problem that's everywhere. It's gotten better now. But it was a persistent thing for 14 years. And the same way you mentioned, having all the resources. I mean, I think 40% of the gold in the world in circulation comes from one area in South Africa. We had all the resources, everything, strong currency, everything, and it just got ruined in like 25 years. And to mess that up is bad. And I mean, even the power station lasted for 20, 25 years. But if you don't maintain it, eventually it just collapses.
So sad what's happening, man, because the South African Boer is like these people are like unique and really sort of cool, productive people. Every time I meet white South Africans when I'm overseas, we always get along like a house on fire. Same with when I tend to meet Irish and people like this, and it's like what's happening to your country there is just devastating, man. Same thing that happened to Rhodesia as well. And you'd think that they'd look at the playbook and sort of realize that no.
Yeah, but there's a deeper story behind that. But if you ever come down here, let me know. If you want to have a guide or a cameraman, can shoot
Yeah,
the
man,
shit.
definitely add me on Instagram, Twitter, and because I can definitely see myself doing that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Perfect.
So we had another question from Spiro here. Follow-up question. During the fever dream, whereupon Crocodile Dundee is showing off his knives, do you get to have a say in what happens? For example, can Crocodile Dundee say Christ is Lord while whooshing his knives around?
No, we don't have a say. Why would we have a say? No,
Sad.
I don't have a say
Crocodile
in the
Dundee's his own
fantasy.
man. He's-
Yeah,
That's the Chuck Norris of Australia right there.
it's all an illusion. So
Everything's an illusion
yeah,
because it's not real, right? I mean,
exactly. Make believe.
EOD, were you going to ask another something?
Yeah, I've been really impressed with the Extravaganza show. You've been hosting that with Andrew Wilson and Rob Knorr and Mr. E, and that's just been fantastic. It's been hilarious. You guys had the ShamWow guy on earlier today. That was freaking hilarious. I loved it. Did the tier list of the infomercial guys. I don't know. I'm gonna ask. How is it doing the scheduling and everything? Because you're still trying to run your own show. You're trying to do the Extravaganza show. And here you are with us hanging out with Abe Dinkus. It's got to be a huge stress on your time. How do you manage?
It is a lot, but like I don't really have much else to do, to be honest. I just sort of do that work. And I live in a pretty isolated place here in the Sunshine Coast in Australia, which is like up north. It's like more of a chill coastal town. So I got a few of my family around and everything, but I love this. I love this shit, man. I live for making shows and stuff. But the Extravaganza is basically I just get all of me and my brother Vinny, who's my producer here, and I've got a good small team of guys who help us out. We've got like another editor, Jack, who's like really good at what he does, and then got Malcolm as well, who we've just hired, who's helps me with all my research. So we've got a small team of really capable people, and they help me a lot. So yeah, I enjoy it. But for a while there, I don't know if you guys may have noticed at the start, Andrew was putting on the back half of the Extravaganza show, but I had to sort of manipulate and I had to sort of manipulate him into giving me that responsibility because I'm such a control freak, autistic when it comes to this sort of stuff. I'm like, no, I want to control the whole show, you know. so
Do you
so
yell at
he was just like,
Benny a
oh, he
lot?
just gave it to me. Sorry.
Do you yell at your brother a lot?
Well, occasionally, because I'm like, it's like he's really chill, and then I'm the highly strung one. So I'm the one who's a bit more like, all right, we've got to be doing this, this, this. And if he was any more laid back, he'd be a deck chair. So yeah, he's just really chill. But you kind of need that, you know, you need that push and pull. The one person who's more mellow in their personality, and the one person who's a bit more like crazy in their personality. So I think it works well, you know.
Nice.
Good balance.
I think that's
Is
like
the
any
right and left
relationship.
divided over in Australia as much as they are in the United States?
We don't really have a right over here. That's the thing. Our right party is called the Liberal Party. That's what they're called. Yeah, and they're meant to be the Conservative Party, but these guys are like the Left Party are more strict on immigration than they are, and then they're like basically what you'd consider like boomer, classic liberals, right? That's how I'd best describe it. It's like sort of like boomer classical liberal type politics, where they think that they still exist in the world of the 80s, where we had more homogenous societies and where the economies were pretty much humming. Like there's going to be serious reform. And there's been a bunch of like black shirts that have been coming to Schnazis, you know, that have been coming to the protests in Australia.
Yeah.
And yeah, a lot of these guys make really good points. I think that the whole National Socialist thing it's kind of it seems like a LARP to me, you know, like actually calling yourself that. So to me, I don't know. I think they should drop that, because some of the points that they make are not too bad. But if you in Australia is so like conditioned to like mainstream media type talking points, that to bring in a far right ideology, or to bring in even like a proper right wing traditionalist ideology, we're just so not ready for that. So it doesn't really exist. Like my worldview is not represented at all in politics. Yeah.
Wow.
Do you think there's a certain level though of when you're being called the names, you just say so what?
Yeah, but like I think that if you do it ironically, that's a funny thing to do. But if you actually think like I'm a National Socialist, you know, Heil, then I think that it can come across as a little bit larpy. But if you're doing it as like a leaning into it, like, yeah, whatever, call me what you want, then I think that's fine. If you're sort of edgelording and memeing. But if you're actually serious about it, then that can be a bit, yeah.
True. I mean, so there's part of it where it's like you're gonna call like them, right? They're gonna call people fascists all the time, right?
Yeah.
And at some point, it's like, so what if I am? Then what?
Yeah.
Then what?
Well,
Yeah, I think
the
that's
thing
completely
is,
fine.
that's interesting is and this is obviously not a slight at anybody, but something I don't know if the Americans always realize. If you're in other countries, the grace afforded to speak your mind is limited.
Does not
Whether you're in
exist.
UK, whether I'm here, I have to watch what I say. Certain things I can get into trouble for saying that you guys can say freely. So there's more ostracizing happening in different countries opposed to America. So viewing things through an American paradigm and then trying to equate that to other countries is not exactly analogous for us. It's a different kind of situation.
That's totally fair. I get that for sure. For sure. That makes it pretty difficult too, because you guys are seeing this and you're like, that can't fall, because if that falls, we're all screwed. And at the same time, you can't even say some of the things that you need to say to even make that apparent.
Yeah. You can't even defend yourself against it. Yeah.
Well, just think about this, right? But when the liberals were running America, the dissenting view, you know, cancel culture, all of these things, right? It got demonized. So now what you just do is basically math that as to other countries where it's way worse. So the demonization of opposing views or just not agreeing with the party that's in charge is not an easy thing. That's what it comes down to. So most people shut up that have alternative opinions.
Yeah, and I will say, you know, kind of piggybacking off of that, with Trump becoming president, which is what I think is one of the most like, it has the most ripple waves around the world, is his big fight against immigration, because it seems like now, you know, that all this immigration that's been happening over in Europe was just happening unabated. No one was doing anything about it. And since he's become president, I mean, there's literally massive demonstrations all over Europe right now. especially like,
Yeah.
last night I was covering Italy and how they're actually just beating back all of the Antifa people and the pro-Palestine, whatever, yada, yada, because they're just done with it. And it's just a good thing to see. It really seems like it has had a massively positive effect, at least over in Europe.
That actually brings up a question for me, Jake. Do you think that when the rest of the world or the rest of the Western nations see America has more backbone in certain situations, that they will emulate that more because they see it here?
Yeah, 100%. I think they'll also start beating off the Antifa members as soon
You
as
got that
happens.
too, did you?
Whoa.
Crazy.
Hey man,
We need to change the terminology. I don't know if we need to use beat off.
phrasing. My bad.
Oh,
No.
that was good. I was gonna let it go, but
I was hoping you would, damn it.
You better let it go.
He
That's
was
the
fighting for his
problem.
life down there, bro.
Yeah.
Oh.
damn.
But no, I do think so. Yeah, for sure. I mean, Europe has to. Something's got to give, or else, like I said, there's going to be a serious conflict over there. So
I agree. I don't think it's just. I don't. Yeah, I think it's all of the Western nations. Honestly, it's not just Europe. It's everywhere that this is happening.
yeah,
What was it? There's like some island in Italy where the migrants outnumber the native population of the island.
yeah. I think
Right?
it was Sardinia, maybe.
Sardinia, yeah, that sounds familiar. I think that's it.
It's like a
That's
port
nuts.
of. It's like a port from Libya, because Libya used to be obviously closed off to people. When Gaddafi was in charge, basically he had a decent relationship with the Europeans, and it was more or less closed off. But now Libya is essentially run by rogue gangs, so anyone coming from sub-Saharan Africa can go into Libya, and then they'll be shipped across the channel by gangs. So I think there was at one point there was like 30,000 that came in a day or something crazy like that.
Good lord.
Wasn't Gaddafi trying to mint his own money?
Yeah, well, they say
Yeah.
that's why they targeted him, because he was trying to create his own Pan-African currency. That
That would make sense.
yeah, they could tether to their natural resources, but
Sheesh.
Yeah,
It would be so-
now we have a new contender up in Africa for that.
who is it?
Brits, right?
And it would
It's
be
that guy that's suffered multiple, the dude from Burkina Faso, that guy that's buying back all of the mines and everything from all the other countries. I forget what his name is, but
Really?
he's also faced like multiple assassinations. Yeah, he's
was about
buying
to
back
say-
the country.
I was about to say that man would never kill himself.
No,
exactly.
he's a dude. It's been like over 30 attempts on his life already. A young guy who's trying to unify the top of Africa there.
no,
Yeah,
is
I
it-
mean-
Sibanye Stillwater?
It's Traore. Something Traore is the guy's name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have heard of this guy. I think they call him like. Don't they?
Ibrahim
Don't they call him like
Traore
a,
or something.
Don't they call him like a Che Guevara or something of Africa? The African Che
I
Guevara.
think so.
They
Yeah, he
also call
always
me that,
walks
to be
around
fair.
in military gear
call you-
and yeah.
They call you
That's
that up
that's
in
a-
Australia.
No, they call me the African Che Guevara as well, but
Oh, well, that's
I-
interesting.
I don't know if that's an insult or a praise. at this point.
I was trying to decide that too, actually.
Yeah, it's like,
Who
what are
knows?
they trying to do? Is like trying to insult him?
yeah. No, I have heard of that guy, but it would be interesting. But I don't know, man. Like, is it ever possible? Africa is a serious breadbasket, and China look to have their mitts in this now in terms of the Belt and Road Initiative. You go a lot of these different places in Africa, and all the railroads that are being built, and the mining that's been done over there. Generally, the Chinese are going to have their grubby little hands in it. So, can I hate though? I mean, they're not doing it by dropping bombs or anything. They're doing it by coming in and doing deals with the governments over there, and the governments are corrupt and they're taking advantage. So,
It's the
Makes
name of
sense
the
to me.
game.
and then they can't pay it back, and China goes, "This is all ours now."
yeah, we own this shit. We own you.
Yeah,
But it's not their problem. It's the next guy who gets elected, so it's fine.
right.
One of the
the name
biggest
of the
burns out of Africa that was beautiful is after the protests in UK, one of these African leaders left a bunch of food on a runway and said he's donating it to their colonizer brothers that are struggling over there in Europe as a little shitpost for them.
Yeah. Are any of you guys coming to DebateCon?
I am
Nice.
not by my own volition. What Amigad is kind of fronting a lot of the costs for me and everything. So, but
Okay, no.
I'm excited to be there. I want to buy you a beer and Rob Nor a beer and Andrew Wilson a beer. It'll be a good time.
I'll buy you one right back.
All right.
I'd love to go, but my name checks out. Just
Yeah, I'd like to go.
I was
in rural Montana, so.
I was gonna do the dinghy route, like how they're getting into Europe, but apparently Trump doesn't like boats off the coast no more, so I don't think that's a good idea.
But it's particularly submarines that are a problem, you know.
yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
A dinghy from South Africa.
Row your boat, Chris.
Yeah, you should record all the footage. That'll sell.
We'll do a travel
Quite
vlog.
the voyage.
Yeah.
Well, if Greta Van Thunberg or whatever can make it across the Mediterranean Sea, you could probably make it across the Pacific Ocean. So.
Well, she made it across the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah,
did
in
she
what
go
was a
across the whole ocean?
sailboat that was run
Yeah.
by diesel, of course.
Oh,
Yeah.
With a crew.
With a crew.
And it was like twice the amount of emissions. If you just taken a plane, it would have been half of the emissions that what she did on the boat. But whatever, who cares?
So Jake, I heard you're gonna go over the Nick and Tucker thing tomorrow, huh?
Yeah. I like doing those long debate because I watch a lot of debates. Obviously, I'm studying debates all the time for my channel and breaking them down. So I watch a heap of them, and then I just figured to myself a few months ago, like, why don't I just come on and watch them with the crew and just break them down with the crew, and then I take the streams down after, and I can do a video on it if I want. But like, I'm spend so much time watching them, I figured I may as well just go on and just jump on a live stream and watch them with everybody.
Yeah, definitely. I want to break into the debate scene a little bit more. I'm gonna start stepping into stuff more, and host some here as well. But
well, you got some debates coming up now. I think a couple of us have some debates coming up.
Yep.
I'm gonna warm up Planet Peterson for Jim Bob for DebateCon. See if I can get him a little bit.
Good luck with that, Chris. You got the B card.
I'm debating him as well.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about that one, and the prompt's not in my favor, but I'm still gonna whoop his ass.
What's the prompt?
Evolution, more assumptions or more evidence. So I'm anti-evolution on that one.
Good man.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm debating him as well at DebateCon.
Yeah.
What is your
I'll soften him up for you fellas.
It's secular humanism versus Christianity. What's better for society?
So that should be. Okay. You should stomp him.
It's untenable, the position, but we'll see how we go.
Yeah, you never know.
My debate is with
Better
EOD
to
right
better
there,
to go
actually.
in humble so that if you win, you
shit.
can boast, and if you don't, you can be like, well, I was expecting that anyway.
Yeah.
EOD, are you and Abe fighting?
We're not fighting. We're gonna have a debate about surveillance.
That's a verbal battle, bro.
Verbal battle.
Well, I don't know. You say
Violence,
fighting, I
bro.
think we're gonna come to blows or something.
I have to argue devil's advocate because it's not what I believe, but I'm going to argue that it is
And to be
justified to
fair-
have unwarranted surveillance for national security.
To be fair, I've lost a debate against Abe when he's being devil's advocate before too. He's very good at that. So.
Well,
I gotta do
All
my
right,
research.
fellas, I've got to run because I got to go eat some food. I'm getting very hungry. Absolute pleasure to hang out with you all today. If EOD, you coming to DebateCon,
Yes, sir.
and make sure if you guys like add me on Twitter or whatever, and we can stay in contact there.
Yeah.
Hell
Jake,
yeah.
will you be going to the Grid
sure.
event on Monday? On
The what? Sorry.
Friday,
the
sorry.
Grid 1 event.
The Grid event.
What is it?
Grid 1 is doing an
Grid 1.
event.
Like an in person?
Yeah.
In
No, I mean,
Nashville the day
Canada,
In
before.
Nashville. Yeah.
Yeah.
The day before.
The day before? Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
for sure.
You're always welcome back, Jake. Thank you for coming. I appreciate
All
it.
right. Take care, fellas. See you later.
Pleasure talking
Have
to
a
you, man.
great one.
Oi, oi.
Pleasure.
Awesome.
That's good shit, man.
And
Good
then there were
times, Jones.
5.
So, I am not sure what to do now. We can keep on chit chatting if you'd like, or open it
Sure.
up more, or how do you want to do it?
It's okay. Anything's okay with me. I'm chilling, dude.
All right, cool.
So you're arguing against evolution, Chris? I didn't realize you would take that
Yeah.
stance.
Yeah, well, I mean, with the sciencey stuff is actually what I want to argue, as my background's in chemistry adjacent, I would say, and more engineering stuff. So yeah, so I'm gonna just argue that. But the problem with the prompt is that it's evidence versus assumption. Evidence is a difficult one, dude, because evidence can, if it was proof instead of evidence, that would make my life a lot easier. But because I got a good opportunity, I didn't want to make it difficult or do something that would inhibit it. So I just said, let's go. That's usually how I roll. I'm like, let's fight, bro. Don't care, I'll figure it out.
Good to see you, chat.
True, very true.
I would go. You don't have to do this, obviously, but I would go into the idea of what evidence is, what he considers to be evidence, and then try to go from there, and just
Yep.
try to
Yep.
find out as much of the supposed evidence that they have on it, which they have a bunch
is
of
nothing.
Yeah,
assumptions
but
in between.
yeah,
Scam.
I have a strategy for that. The only thing is, I mean, listen, I usually don't underestimate people, and I know Peterson is not a dumb dude. So if it's gonna be a situation where he's just gonna throw evidence at me that there's no way I can know everything he knows. So that's gonna be a losing battle. I have a bit of a different strategy that is not expecting. See, what I usually do when I have long form debates is I hit people with a strategy that they don't expect. So I don't think he knows what he's gonna face when he steps in there. So let's just put it that way. I got a little bit of a plan for him. That because the thing is, it doesn't help if I copy what other people, Jim Bob or the other Evo guys or the Young Earth guys have done to him. I want to hit him with something new that he's not gonna expect.
Smart.
Because I can't beat him in facts. There's no way I can beat him in facts. He's gonna know more than me. He's gonna have more research on the topic. He's way more versed on the topic than me.
The problem is there isn't enough facts to actually back up his position. Like when you
The
start
problem is
breaking
it's
down
a theory.
speciesization, and you look at like evidence-based, a lot of it's just bunk.
Faith.
They've just
Yeah.
filled in the spaces to make it make sense.
The problem is you're trying to prove something that, according to them, happened millions of years ago, so you can actually prove it, and it's still a theory. It's not a fact that's a proven thing, it's a theory. So, yeah.
Well, you would think
that's the
that
point,
there'd be evidence
That-
of the in between at some point, and there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of that, right?
Yeah, there's a little bit of an issue with transitional fossils.
Sorry, I
Seems to
didn't mean
be.
to step on you.
No, what I just want to say is that's the point. At some point, it's like we're talking about evidence, so you need to be able to present. I would say that he would need to be able to present what is the evidence to get him to the point in which the assumptions are justified. And I don't know if there is. For what I know, the Juso story is pretty much the assumption of what happened, but there is not that much evidence as to how the story happened, right?
Yeah, well, the whole thing is the whole thing is there's a lot to the subject of it itself. So it's also a problem that they sit with is if I propose a theory and then I keep changing the theory in debate, we call that shifting the goalpost. So if you make a prediction and it's wrong and then you change what the theory is constantly, I mean, you're sitting with a little bit of a problem there. He's like, oh, that failed. Okay, well, now we're just changing what we meant every time. It's like, that's a problem. That's a bit of an issue. And a lot of
I
inaccurate
think
predictions.
I think that the answer to that is since it's a theory, it's not set on stone. So there's always
No.
new development in the theory
And-
that they can be changing in accordance to the new evidence, right?
Yeah, and the funny thing is, it's always when you bring this up, right? It's not a popular position to be anti that because it's the dogma that's in academia. So whenever you bring that up, but what's very interesting is there's even people in that fight it as well that aren't religious or any of that. The problem is A lot of people that understand science don't like saying things are true if it can't be proven true. So most people that actually know science are skeptical. They go, well, this is our best guess, but they won't tell you this is fact because it's not a fact. Everybody knows it's not a fact.
Yeah. Yeah, I can agree with that.
There just isn't a fact associated. That's the issue. Like the greatest issue.
Yeah.
It's just a whole lot of conjecture based on little bits and pieces. It's actually really crazy to me that it's taught so firmly as a solid foundation in the West.
Oh?
Yeah.
If your elitist East Coast evolution is real, why has no one found the missing link between modern humans and ancient apes?
We did find it. It's called Homo erectus.
There we have it. There we have it.
Darwinian prophesy. It sounds like the
Darwinian.
proof is in the pudding right there. It's a prophecy from Darwin.
That's your debate.
Well, dude, it's that interesting part of, right, it becomes kind of this thing of infinite regress. It's like it's this time and this is how it happened, then they go, shit, it doesn't work. Well, we're gonna add time. We're just gonna add time to it now, and we're gonna just take it further back and further. It's if you grant yourself all time or unlimited time or this, and you just keep adding variables and shifting the goalpost, it almost becomes impossible to disprove. Like I said, if you keep changing the variables, or if I make a claim and I keep adding to the claim or keep changing the claim, how do you dispute the claim? Because it's just an ever shifting claim.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's the problem. Because most people that understand the topic is Darwin's kind of proposed evolution system is not the one that they're following now anymore. So they're not even following the original one anymore because they keep changing it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like layers.
Well, it used to be sexual selection, and now it's not sexual selection anymore.
Yeah.
So,
I think
interesting.
it's not just that, actually. There's like 16 layers. That's the issue. So you've got like Darwinian evolution, and then you've got bits and pieces from each next generation from him forward, where they're filling in the blanks with ever more increasing guessery, basically. So you find this piece and that piece, and you go, okay, well, our guess is this, and our explanation is this, and then you have that cemented, and then another layer goes on top of that with some more of that, and it's like each time that happens, you have an entire new system of breaking it down until you hit the baseline, and to navigate through all of that and dissuade the belief in all of these guesses is nearly impossible, because they're not going to listen to you. At some point, they're going to be like, sure, everything's just guesses, and we just made up a bunch of stuff. Yeah, that's how it works.
I think the first time that I went into Jim Bob's Discord, and he was having like an open panel about this very topic, and you know, I kind of played devil's advocate with him a little bit, and what he tore it down to and sort of focused on with me was the common ancestor problem, right? Like the idea that we all arose from a pile of goop, which means that we have a common ancestor with like bacterium and amoeba.
Oh, well, they keep
like
changing how that happened too. They keep changing how the start of it, how it started. They keep changing that too, because there's a theory, and then they make a new theory, and then they make a new theory. So,
well, here's the baseline issue that I have with all of this. Like, if genetic material is nothing but the creator's code, you would assume that all the things were created by the same creator, not that all the things are the same thing. Right?
Well,
so like if I'm a coder and I've coded 1,000 programs and all those programs use the same code, but I made that code, those aren't all the same program. They're different programs using the same code. And that's the way I look at genetic material in creatures. We share it because the creator's the same.
yeah, but it's the same thing if I go, hey, all life on Earth is carbon. Therefore, it comes from the same place because it's all carbon. It's like, dude, okay, well, it just depends on how you're defining your parameters. And it's, yeah, like you said, Abe, It's if it's a pencil, if I have one pencil and I have another pencil, you go, they're from the same factory. But one was made in Japan and one was made in America. They're both pencils identically made. It's a contradict. It's not logical to say, well, because they're both pencils, they come from the same place. They're made from the same thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it's incoherent. There's no logical link to state that this thing has to have come from that thing just because there's a similarity in the thing.
Because
That'd
it
be like
also
saying-
depends, right?
Right.
It depends, because now are we looking at a thing and going triangle and square? Oh, there's another triangle and triangle. Or are we going the genetic route, or which route are we using to say things are similar?
Yep.
So we also need to define that, because it'll be like, well, the fossils because they look the same. And then in the other one, it's like, okay, but now we're going to use genetics. It's like, but you said because things look the same, they're the same. So on surface level, because this looks like that animal, they come from each other.
Right. It's fallacious.
Yeah.
It actually reminds me a lot of some of the other argumentation that we see in the space with, like, sexual movements, like, or gender-based stuff. Because what you're doing is you're saying one thing, and then you're shifting it a little bit, and then you're saying something, and then you're shifting it a little bit. And it's like, wait, I thought we were talking about non-physical, but now you are talking about physical. So how do we get from non-physical to physical? That doesn't make any sense. Where's the linkage?
Yeah.
Well, the linkage is
Another layer of bullshit. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, no,
And that's how it
Abe, you're
works.
100% right. It's like, yeah, exactly, like the transgender argument. But it looks like a woman. Oh, okay, so it's about how it looks now. Okay, so because it looks like it now, it is the thing.
So Dean
See what I
Parker's a
mean?
Is
woman.
that what we're doing?
You see what I mean? Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
same game. It's a game
Yeah.
of bullshittery, is what it is. Whoever's the best
Yeah.
bullshitter, they win.
That's how it goes.
Yeah. No, I just don't want to talk too much about it because of it coming up. Not, I mean,
Fair, fair.
it's probably not that it's gonna get out to him in any way. I don't know, but I'd rather just keep my cards close to my chest because I'm at the disadvantage with this. I'm not gonna.
Well-
I'll just vaguely talk about it.
Luckily, I'm a small channel and most people don't watch me, so he shouldn't see
Well,
this.
But
still-
you know, it's
still have a
internet,
bunch of
dude.
people left
You're not
over
such
from
a
the
small
Jake
channel. You know, there might be somebody here that watches him. I don't know. You're not that small, Abe.
That's true.
You're not
Anyway,
me.
I do got to get going. It's awesome talking to you guys, though. It's good seeing you again, Chris.
It's good to see you.
Same.
Thanks for
DOD.
coming up.
UOD.
Yeah, I'll see you guys around. Cheers.
Thank you, sir.
I want to say, I want to read these by K2, $5. Free Mitts Birds. There's two of them. One is white, one is blue. Okay? There's no green bird.
There's no third
So,
bird.
okay. There's no third one.
They're trying to gaslight you into believing there's a third one, and you're trying to gaslight them into believing there's only two. What's the truth?
That's for who got it right.
Yeah.
Who got it right? Chris, I'm glad you came up. I haven't got to see you in so long on my panel. It's
Man, I'm sorry, bro. I've been bad. The only panel, I mean, you people that watch that are a lot in the space. The only panels I ever jump up is speakeasies. Pretty
Yeah.
much. I barely ever get. Dude, I have to go jump on BB's. This bastard, I need to jump on his karaoke. I promised him. I'm so bad, dude. It's not
This
because
coming Thursday.
You know. Yeah, and I hope you know I love you, Grumple. It's not that I'm like avoiding anybody. It's just life's been hectic my side, man.
It's been a minute. I've missed all like most of your midday stuff too. Which why did EOD run away? Right, I'm clicking the link. He shares 98% DNA with a banana, and I thought we were going to talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just
Yeah,
real
yeah,
quick. Cat by 5 saying free the green bird. It's already freed because there's none. And then another 5 by K2, friend the green one. First hashtag lies. So it is what it is.
crazy. Crazy.
Good.
Good
This
evening.
Thursday we're getting the karaoke.
Yeah.
Is it going to be
I had to wait
epic?
because I mean, when is it not? I had to play this yesterday, so I don't like to do it on the same nights as I play.
It needs to be grumpy oaky, bro.
Grumpy Oki's an awesome name, actually.
I've
You need to brand the shit out of that.
thought, yeah, Chris, I've thought about that a few times, and I think it's about time. But thank you.
See,
That,
us window
you just put
lickers
me over
think
the edge.
alike, brother. Us window lickers and crayon eaters, like that, dude.
Grumple, I have to tell you and commend you on your grand stream yesterday. That specifically the part where you were a little bit asleep again. I enjoyed that part a lot. It was
Wait, on
really
my what?
fun. When
On
you
my
were
what stream?
asleep yesterday on your stream.
Oh, that wasn't for very long. Yesterday we did body cam bingo, and I actually
Yeah.
made with Buff because he was doing like body cam reviews, and he kept talking about doing a bingo. I was like, well, you know what? Let's do this right now. And I made him up like a bingo card where everybody can go and click the link, and then they'll all get a separate bingo card, and you can like click on it to check the boxes. It's really fun.
Yeah,
It
that
looked
looked
like
really fun. That looked really
the
fun.
race car show.
But
Race car came out. I was
but
like,
no-
no, this is a drinking game. But you know what? It probably is. Been a night
But
plan.
yeah, Grumps. No, dude. Hopefully soon my life is gonna calm down a little bit. It's really been a fucking shit show, bro. I've just been paddling, trying to keep my head above water. So as soon as things slow down a little bit, I'll
Oh
definitely.
no,
bounce
we're
around.
okay. I was gonna say like, man, it's good to talk to you. I mean, I haven't talked to you in a minute, but yeah, everybody's. I know I do. I got a lot going on. So,
Yeah,
it's been a while.
it's fun though. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Life can be hellacious, dude. For sure. Like, I was going, like you guys know, I was like putting those hours in. I was like 5, 6, 7 days a week, 8 to 10 hours a day, every single week for a while. And then, like, life happens outside, and you're like, oh shit, I got like way more stuff to do than I realized. And then I'm gone for a week. And I come back, and I'm like, good lord, 1 week gone feels like you were gone for 2 years for all the
But-
stuff that happens.
Well, in internet time, it does work out to that, dude. And Abe, you've probably also seen most people. Also, it's a trend that happens at the start. You stream a lot, and then you kind of have a crash out where, like, life starts falling apart, and then you have to reorientate, and it's very difficult. Like, some people don't even survive that part. You know, they just disappear off the internet. So I'm lucky I survived that, but. Dude, yeah, you gotta be careful. Like, most people that watch don't understand what actually goes into this.
It's
I'm-
crazy.
I'm literally just coming off of that right now. Like I'm
Yeah,
just
dude.
getting back into everything.
It's a crazy amount of work, and then when you step back in, you have to like start making rules for yourself, right? Like, I
Yes.
won't do this. I'm not going to stream this day. I'm not going to go past this time. I'm not going to stream this late. Like, you have to start, and it's weird because it doesn't automatically assert itself. It's like you have to start chipping away little pieces and make it work for
Dude, you have
yourself.
to
Otherwise,
figure it out as it happens. It's not like there's no playbook to this. Like, you're
Right.
trying to figure out the space and understand what you're doing, your channel, all of this, you're trying to figure it out as it happens. And, you know, you can make one bad decision and then it all just goes shit up, you know? So you kind of have to be careful and approach with caution because it's a weird realm.
right? And then that's the first layer, because then the next layer is like scheduling, getting people on, getting topics set, getting time to study the topics you're going to talk about, all of that. And then once you're in stream, like right now, right, we're here, this is pretty chill, but like the setup and then getting people on and then moderation and like all of that stuff is all these different layers of like work. And people don't realize when you get off of this,
work.
you're like fried. Your brain is
Dude,
fried.
Most of the streaming, what's funny about it is most of the streaming and the stuff that's taxing is what happens off camera. It's not when the stream is going. That's the easy part. Everything outside of that is the difficult part.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then cutting, editing, doing all it's so many jobs in one. It's kind of crazy to me, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
But-
well, I mean,
Once you get into it and you get it rolling, it's a lot of fun. There's definitely work and there's struggle and some sucky stuff and interpersonal relationships and all of that, but like it's worth it once you get it fine-tuned enough to roll, you know?
yeah. And yeah, no, it's definitely like I said, it's got to be fun first, otherwise you're not gonna keep doing it, dude. If you don't enjoy doing it, you're not gonna keep doing it. Because there's times it's gonna suck. There's times you don't want to start streaming when you know you have to, and you don't want to do the stream.
Yep.
So you better want to do it or like doing it. Otherwise, you're not gonna do it, dude. It's gonna
Every
get
And then the
Saturday,
inertia.
That's the ever
inertia
present.
where
Yep.
if
my
you
every
stop,
Saturday when I'm like,
it's
I'm gonna do
super easy
forced
to stop.
karaoke and I just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
if you stop, then getting started, getting like, if you stop for any kind of amount of time, getting started again,
Yes.
both the parts about putting in the effort and the work, but then getting people to like, oh hey, yeah, I'm going live again, getting that rolling again. It's like it's almost like starting over.
It's an ever-present struggle too, for sure.
I've been doing this since what 2018, I think. It's like and like with like sometimes with giant gaps, and I've never had like really good schedule either, so it's difficult.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the internet is one of those spaces that, like Abe said, a week is almost a year in internet time. If you disappear for a week,
Yep.
people with TikTok and things nowadays, man, if you disappear for a week, 2 weeks, that's basically like you're gone. People forget about you.
Yeah, it's true. It's absolutely true.
Or they have other stuff to watch, right? Like they
Yep.
There's
kind of-
always
They'll just
other
move.
stuff to watch.
Their attention will go somewhere else, and if the
Yes.
attention goes somewhere else, and the new thing is something they're into, they may never come back. Especially if you're the same time slot, or you tend, which
The time
is
slot's a big deal.
right, which is bound to happen because they're watching you at this time. You disappear, they go somewhere else. Now you're out of their attention, out of sight, out of mind. They might come back, they might notice, but we all here know that notification bell doesn't work the way it's supposed to half the time, or at least half the time. Sometimes people literally just get pulled right off, right? They're subscribed. Next week they're not subscribed anymore, and they don't even know why. They didn't unsubscribe. So that this kind of stuff all the time is happening. So your consistency matters more than the algorithm does.
Yeah, and also one thing is also it's one of the things that's in a way good because it pushes you to keep doing better at your streams, doing better content. Always trying to figure out how you can kind of improve because any stagnation is not great when there's unlimited choice out there on YouTube.
Yeah. So this is something I would say to both this crew who's on the panel right now and like everybody in chat who's either inspiring or has a channel running. Don't be afraid to reach out and ask people. Don't be afraid to just say something. People are like, how did you get that person? I asked. That's what I did. I went and I asked, and then I was persistent. I didn't push for them to be on the show. I asked, and they said, I'll think about it. I waited a while. I went back to them. Hey, any chance you'd be willing to do the show? Yeah, sure, I'll do the show. I'm a little busy right now, but get back to me in 2 weeks. Cool. 2 weeks later, go back. Hey, you told me to wait a couple weeks. I'm back. Do you think there's any chance you want to do this? Be persistent. Be willing to ask the people, because even some of these people, like Jake's got 800,000 subscribers. He's a huge, huge success in the space, but he's a pretty cool dude. And I've talked to him before, but it's all about time and whether or not he can get on there. And usually they're completely willing. You just got to ask. So
Dude,
don't be afraid to ask.
Dude, I've also said this to people, like even when I get busy and stuff, if you tell me come on this day, I'll make sure that I'm there. Like if it's just I hope you show up randomly. If things are crazy, I'm probably not. If because I'm probably going to be busy. But if you ask me, I'll be there. And even at the start, I remember when I started, I would bother Teriak for questions and things when I started my channel. I remember even, we all try and help each other. Even you, dude, you still ask me about the pictures and stuff at the start. Like, just ask. If you just ask somebody, like most of the people will help or will figure something out. You just gotta be persistent, like Abe says, and you gotta just ask.
Yep. This has been a good.
Etiquette, at least basic etiquette when you're on panel and dealing with people.
That's also
They
true.
don't hate you.
So there's chunks there. Like panel etiquette is actually fairly important. Over talking people often is going to make either the host or the other people not want to be on panel with you. Having screwed up mic, that will also hurt you. But just a certain level of politeness to others. Like I'm going to wait till somebody else is done speaking to speak, unless it's like they never stop. Then I'm going to be like, hey, chill. Can somebody else talk? But there's a level of panel etiquette. Some sway is not a big deal, but like there are people we all know, like Ryan, he'll just spurt out and talk over you for 13 minutes straight, and you're like, what the shit, dude? Give me a chance to talk. So definitely panel etiquette goes a long way, especially in big panels. Like obviously this is just a small space, but when it's a 8-person or 10-person panel on a big channel, you're kind of chomping at the bit to get in there, and if you do it wrong, you're getting yelled at. So, yeah, it's all a learning experience when it comes to the etiquette you must display whilst on panels, for sure.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I mean, because like you and me, right? Well, all of us actually that are on screen right now, we've all been on things like VK. Yeah, you're going to be freaking chewing each other up, yelling over each other, not a big deal. And then you go on to like grids, and that is kind of a big deal. Or you go on the tomato, and it's a really big deal. Don't yell over people. Don't talk over people. Like, so you have to pay attention to which moderator or which channel owner it is, and what kind of panel it is. But we all know the rules.
The panel and the situation and the channel or what you're there to do will all kind of dictate what your behavior is going to be like, right? As well, like you said, how you might conduct yourself on a grid panel might be different than how you conduct yourself on a VK one.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And even the arguments are different because of how.
Hey guys.
There you are. Hey Dan. Good to see you.
A 5-minute debate and
What's
a
up, Sexy?
2-hour debate are completely different. Hey, poke this man. Poke this man in the face. Uncle Dan.
Face poking.
Like this. Maybe like
Yeah,
somewhere.
I just I've been hanging out in the back, but I just wanted to say hi to all of these lovely faces, all of these lovely gentlemen. Miss you all. It's been a lot of work lately, so I've been off the space, but I will be back every once in a while. I really appreciate you all, and have a good night.
Thank you, Dan.
Hey, look after yourself, sir.
Yes.
God bless, man.
God bless you all. God
And
bless
thank you for all the help tonight, Dan.
Oh, I didn't do anything. I was just enjoying the stream. Take care.
Take care.
Have a good night.
This guy.
Uncle Dan.
He's a
There's
good dude.
legend.
This guy.
He's a good man.
He's a good dude.
Yep.
Dan is the nicest man on the internet, hands down.
There's a song about it.
Nicest Viking.
He's the nicest Viking, yes.
He's the nicest
Nicest
Viking in
Viking.
the world, bro.
True.
All right, guys. Hey, I'm gonna dip out of here. You guys have a great night. God bless. Great to share a
You
panel
too.
with you. Thanks for the
Damn
invite.
it.
Dave.
Thank you. Thank you
Y'all
for
have a great
coming.
night.
Have a good one.
Thank you. Have a good night, buddy.
Sir. Damn it, everybody keeps leaving now. I can't leave because I have work I gotta do.
It's okay. We can call it, and I can raid this off, and we can just call it good. That was a good interview. I'm glad I got to have you guys up to say hi and talk a little bit, but
No, I obviously like hanging with you fellas, but it's just fucking responsibilities, man.
yeah, I think I'm gonna do more of them. I'm gonna try and get them back over again, and maybe do more. I wanted an introduction where it's like, hey, who are you? What do you do? Cool. Anybody in the space who doesn't know you, now they'll get a chance to know who you are and what you stand for. And then next time I could do like invite them over for like an actual debate panel or 4-on-4 left versus right or whatever, and see if he'll come, and then we can all, and also to make him familiar with people in the space a little bit anyway.
I'm regretting missing the beginning of it, man. I thought you were doing it later this week, like on Wednesday or Thursday or something.
So it was going to be Wednesday. Well, actually, at first it was next week, and then it got changed to Wednesday, and then it got changed to Tuesday, and then it got changed to Monday. So It like got closer all in one day, and I was like, okay, let's go. So, and I tried to post it all over the place so people would see that it was today, but it was a rush job from yesterday, so or 2 days ago, whichever, and it evolved
I don't
over.
feel as bad.
No,
I've been slammed most of the day. I'm sorry.
You're good.
Interrupt you.
You're good. No, you didn't. So yeah, no, but it was for fun. I thought it would be nice. Hopefully, everybody thinks that it went well. I mean, I wanted to ask decent questions, but I didn't want to dig too crazy. So I think the biggest I think the biggest takeaway is we need Christianity to win out. We actually have to stand for what we believe. Every voice matters. There's enough of us to actually be heard, so we should all be speaking. And learn the arguments.
Christianity definitely has to win out, bro.
Yep.
Seems like there's a growing contingent of creators now too that are, if not actively pushing in the content, at least on the same side.
Yes. Well, and that's basically, I mentioned that too. Like, yes, we were already kind of moving that direction, but at the point where we lost Charlie Kirk, it was the wake up. It was like all of Christianity went, whoa, wait a minute, what is happening? And that moment was like the scales fell off of eyes. People realized, shoot, I'm just like that guy. If he's just out there talking and he's just a random Christian family man, like what? We obviously need to be more active. So here we are.
Yeah. No, that's the truth. That was a bit of a wake up for everybody.
I mean, have you heard people say this is the 9/11 of their generation? Because I've heard that from Gen Z.
About the Charlie Kirk incident?
Yeah, because it was so, like, he was not known.
The JFK of J generation.
Sure. But it was a big enough event that it literally shifted public opinion, or woke up enough of public opinion that they went, whoa, wait a minute. What is going on? What world do I live in? That a guy is out there talking to people at a college and he's a Christian and he's not even saying that offensive of things, and somebody's going to take his life over it. Like, what?
It wasn't anything offensive. Like people say this about like Rush Limbaugh, about what Charlie Kirk, about anybody that's on our side essentially, and say, oh, they're so full of hate and all this nonsense. Like, have you ever actually listened and engaged? Because there's not any hate, and for the vast majority of it. What's up, race car? You sexy Dorito loving lover.
How's it going, buddy?
What's going on, you sexy motherfuckers? How are you doing tonight?
How's it going?
Good, man.
Oh, it's
Good times.
very good. Yeah.
Well, hey, since you're up here, all of you dang legends, firstly to our host, Uncle Abe, thank you so much for having me. Emmett, Grumple, everybody in chat, you have a fucking kick-ass night. God bless all of you guys, and I'll see you later.
Yeah.
Always nice to see you.
Have a good night, Chris. Thank you for coming on.
I thought this was going to be a Chris takeover, and now I'm short another Chris.
So sad.
I know.
Race car, you've met these guys, right?
Yeah. I've thrown money at. I play D&D with Abe for one, and
oh right,
yeah, and of course then Abe throws me an invite to come check out his channel and stuff, like through playing D&D with him and everything, and then my very first sarcastic fucking comment that I throw at him is a super chat for $5 to do karaoke of ABBA's "Gimme Gimme Gimme," A Man After Midnight, and of course I had to laugh my ass off hysterically at that, and then it turned into just a giant fucking grift trend that I'm like, you know what? Either I should apologize for starting such a trend that led you down that rabbit hole of like sucking in money for the sake of embarrassment, but or
It's
you owe me a
fantastic.
thank you, but we'll call it even for the sake of those two things kind of, level each other out. Well, we're good.
Indeed. It was awesome.
I was laughing my ass off hysterically. I'm like, oh my God, I've opened a can of worms that I'm like, I don't know if I should apologize for this.
Well,
I felt-
forced karaoke is the thing, right?
Yeah, Emmett does it on his channel every Saturday, but it was funny how it happened here too, and I was like, I felt like an idiot the whole time, but it did make some money, so I'm not sure where I stand on it, but it ended well.
We can call it a draw.
So thank you, and damn it.
That's the proper response. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, normal, not forced karaoke. This coming Thursday.
Yes.
Could you accept suggestions? Just
Complain.
Oh,
Yes,
shit, I have a
suggestions are
fucking,
accepted, but
damn it, dude. I've got a 10 o'clock game Thursday night.
I'm trying to do them more frequently than once a month now. So, I mean, just catch the next one, dude. You're good.
Yeah.
You
Beer
get
league
friends.
schedule be beer league scheduling, So this is like one of the rare occasions where we have more than one game a week. So yay.
Hello. Welcome up.
Hey. Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening.
I was loving the discussion on the small content creators because I'm practically tiny. Like I've only got like I think 1,893 subscribers. I got like 1.4 million views because you have to stay. I was agreeing with what you were saying. You have to stay engaged. You have to. If you don't have a schedule, like I have a sporadic schedule. I could go live like any time in the morning, day, night, but it's not on a schedule. But if you did get on a schedule, once you do start to gain a following, I totally heard what you said when you're like, if you don't go live for a week, you get it's like a year in YouTube, and you get forgotten.
So easy to lose it.
Yeah. You might as well. Like your internet existence might as well have died.
Well, here's the thing: is that I'm digitally Amish. I don't have Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Gab, Reddit, Twitch, DLive, Telegram, Discord. Like I only have YouTube. And I just do it just to make the world a better place to do laughter. Like I do stand-up comedy and videos about nature or plumbing. So it's like
there you go.
I have the weirdest genre that has never been done. So it's all kinds of fun.
Wait, hang on. You do a stand-up about plumbing and stick. Oh man, now we have to fight
I do.
to the death.
Yeah, they're crappy
Isn't it the
jokes.
same
Yeah.
thing?
That's hilarious.
Oh, I get it. He said he's a plumber and he makes crappy jokes.
That's pretty funny.
Let me tell you, it rained all day here in South Carolina. It's a crappy Monday, dude. I got home, I was soaked. I changed every article of clothing except my underpants. Ran downtown, did 4 minutes of horrible comedy, and then came home while thinking about driving my truck into a telephone pole.
But it was only 4 minutes of terrible comedy. But
that
way. Could have been worse. It could have been like 15 minutes.
True.
Oh, you know what's funny about that is everybody has TikTok brain, like everybody. So it's like if you post your full set, it's like 20 views. But if you break it up into like 6 or 9 shorts, thousands of views. You're like, what is happening? Like no one can pay attention for 4 minutes.
I don't have TikTok. I have never had it. So
me neither. Do you know why? Do you know what? Do you know what the reasoning behind that is? Okay, my dad is a realtor and an accountant, so he's taught me to read contracts.
Mm-hmm.
If you read the terms and privacy policy of TikTok, they have ingrained in their paperwork that if you accept that they have access to your microphone and your camera, even when you're not in the app and even when your phone is locked. It's owned by Tencent in China.
Yeah,
Go ahead and research it. You have to do your own research. And the guy who started it is like the Chinese version of Elon Musk, except it's 10 cent. It's in. You got to do your own research. I can't make you see it. You got to look at it yourself. But I will never be on TikTok. Like people always tell me, they're like, "You're kind of funny. Why don't you put your shit on TikTok, and then you'd blow up?" And I'm like, "Have you ever met anybody that's famous? Have you ever known someone that's famous? Have you ever had a conversation with them about how fame is literally it's a prison of golden bars?"
Yep.
Like I have a famous friend who will remain unnamed, and he said, "What's it like for you to go to the store for a pack of cigarettes and a Mountain Dew?" And I said, "It's about 10, 15 minutes." He goes, "Yeah, for me it's 2 hours. I have to fake smile, I have to hold grandmas, I have to take pictures, I have to wait for selfies, I have to sign shit, and I have to be nice because if you're an asshole even for a second, that shit goes viral." You know,
That's
so
fair.
it's like I like being small. I'm completely 100% unmonetized. Like I have my Cash App in my bio as a joke. And one dude sent me $2 on YouTube, and I won a bet doing comedy. So my 3.5 year comedy career has grossed me about $20.
Before we get too far away from it, just to reiterate, yeah, TikTok, most apps like that shouldn't be on the handset that you carry with you. I advise
Yeah.
only like regular communication, whether it's like encrypted comms or voice communication stuff, things that you actually need on your like phone to be a phone. Anything like that shouldn't be on the handset that you take with you. TikTok shouldn't even be on like a device that's on anything else. Like use it on a VM
Yeah, well, here's the thing: is that,
to
like
do
I
your
said,
content.
I'm digitally Amish. I haven't had cable.
Well, I mean,
television.
for everybody.
Well, I'm saying
I mean, just for in general.
I haven't owned a computer since 2010. I haven't had cable TV since 2010.
Wow.
But I've done 3 YouTube channels on cell phones, and you get a few million views, and it's like, oh, this is fun, and they offer you the opportunity to be monetized. With YouTube, it's 7 cents per 1,000 views. So at 1.5 thousand views, that's like, I'm sorry, 1.5 million views. That's like $106. And then YouTube takes their 30%. And then what's left, the government's going to send me a tax form on what, $68?
Yep.
No,
Yep.
I'll just keep working my job and not be so dick-sucking reliant on social media.
It's fair.
You know, no,
It's
people that want
understandable.
to be famous online and they're like, I want to make a living online and this and that and the other. It comes with stipulations. You don't want to be recognized in public. You want to be able to have family, private time, and you don't want to be doxxed and this and that and the other. And it's like you choose a stage name, get on there, put something good in the universe for free, and don't care about if it makes you money or gets you famous.
You said there was dick sucking involved.
No, the clout chasers. I was talking about the clout chasers. Like no one here is really a clout chaser. Like,
Well, last
like
time
Jake,
I checked, I'm not gay, but $20 is $20.
Grumple got excited for a moment.
Yeah, I mean, if you got to ask how much the ZJ is, you can't afford it, you know?
Okay, you got to pay me
Like,
more than that
ooh.
to fill out a tax form.
Mm.
Yeah, it's just one of those
Oh.
things. Anyways, I'll sign off. I just wanted to give my 2 cents.
Sounds good, man.
I
Thanks.
appreciate you having me on. Thank you
Yeah,
for that. I
of course.
appreciate it.
Yeah. Have
All
yourself
right,
a good
Tip-
night.
Yeah, you too. And Streamlabs has new. How do I exit out of here?
You just close the app.
I'm trying. All right,
Or
y'all.
just
Good
close
night.
the window.
A red button at the bottom. But yeah, just exiting should be the quick way.
Yep.
The guy was too nice. I am a cloud chaser.
Well, there's a certain level of, it depends on what you want to do and how you want to do it. But he's not wrong in some ways, for sure. Like, it depends on what you're doing, right? If you want to just put good into the world and you don't want anything else, you just want to put it out there, then that's fine. That's awesome. And I would also say if you want to build, like, we all know there's people out there that have built entire empires out of their YouTube career that are doing really, really well. Sure, they may be really busy because of it, but maybe that's what they thrive in. So it just depends on who you are and what your goals are and how much you're willing to put into it. Right? So.
Yep.
Yep.
I just like having friends in online spaces and being able to make dick jokes.
Yeah, you usually do. I mean,
Abe's like, yeah, that tracks.
That does track. I mean, usually. I can expect it. That's for sure.
Yeah,
right.
But,
At least.
I mean, it's not like the other day. You were just like, yeah, your D&D character's name is Carlos Spicy Wiener, and you did just like literally reenact the entire song of Detachable Penis just to derail our campaign for a night for like 10 minutes.
But it was funny.
Oh, of course it was funny. I tell EOD I do it to help his viewer retention.
Yeah, of course.
During the D&D sessions, I'm like, hey, you know what? Someone's got to be there for the comedic relief.
Hey man, stupid funny sells. So there's that. Right.
Yes, I can read your message, K2. You're welcome. Thanks. And that is a very nice, although rather small penis that you typed in at the end of your message.
It's small but girthy.
Small
like
but
a tuna
girthy.
can.
Okay.
Like a tuna can. Or a puck,
You guys are degenerate. Just saying.
I mean, but that's kind of the fun of it, because then you can fuck with each other, and no one gets like their feelings all like super in the butt hurt and things.
Maybe you're all grounded.
Perhaps.
Maybe. Just maybe. Because you don't have wings and all that. I mean, you do in D&D, but you don't here, okay? Calm down.
Are you wings?
I don't know. This is
They're
on
spectral.
The other
They're spectral
wall.
wings.
Yeah. This is the other side of the fourth wall. I don't have to like cross over to bring to the panel.
Well, I know, lucky.
Yeah.
So limiting.
For everybody else.
Oh man. Well, that was for fun. That was pretty cool. Getting to have a little bit of a talk,
Yeah, I just got home and signed into the old stream here and caught the last 10 minutes of Jake. That was pretty cool. And then figured I'd just kind of come in and hang out as everybody else was leaving and whatnot, just to be a dude and talk about the things.
The things and stuff and things, right?
Yeah.
Wait, stuff and things?
Stuff and
things. Yeah.
That's right.
It
has to be
the
stuff
value
and
proposition there is overwhelming.
Isn't it? It's kind of like everything and nothing all at once.
I don't know if Chris saw any of my comments about what I was talking about with Darwinism. Since he's coming up with that debate, I was trying to throw him all kinds of pointers.
Yeah, you might have to hit him up like on Discord or his channel, but I'm sure he's going to do deep research before he does it.
He is absolutely taking a bold take to go against the proper all-wheel drive turbocharged four-banger platform and go against evolution.
True.
And at the same time, I wish him well, and I really wish that Mitsubishi didn't do any harm to him.
True, but it's a noble stance, right?
Yeah.
It's a worthy fight, so
You mean
if there's any car
not
people in the audience, they would totally get where I'm going with those jokes.
race car, you mean not like the 4G63?
That's exactly what I'm talking
Take
about.
take
Yeah.
your you gotta put your leash on before you take your crank for a walk.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I mean, I am definitely like pro Mitsubishi Evo over the Subaru WRX.
That's
Any
front
day.
biased. The
Yeah,
engine
but
goes
the
sideways,
Subaru
dude. Come on.
Yeah, but the Subaru has a boxer engine and they leak oil because that's what they're good at.
It takes 8 hours to change the spark plugs.
Well, it
And
depends on which one, right?
It takes 8 hours to change all of them individually for a total of 32 hours.
That's beautiful.
And you have to
It's
have
like-
tiny hands, such tiny hands, like the size of hands that you would imagine Trump plays the accordion with. Like that
Yeah.
size of hands, you got to reach down in there, and there's barely enough room for your hand and the spark plug once you've unscrewed it to, between the space for the spark plug in your hand and the frame rail. There's just not enough room, folks. Not enough room. You got to have super tiny hands. Only the tiniest of hands can work on Subarus. It's a fact, folks.
Yeah, well, I'm screwed then, because I ain't working on it.
I will stick to my rotary engines and that kind of Dorito autism all day long.
Yeah. Wow. So I'm kind of starving at this point. Just throwing it out there. I might have to go get food. I should. I should. But there's a decent sized crowd in the chat, so what do we have going on right now?
Are you trying to pawn everybody off to someone else? I think Rob
Well,
is on.
I'll go live.
I know that Emmett was planning on going live already, and he suspended his live to come here. So I was wondering what he was doing.
I'll go live.
I may.
I'm gonna leave for now. Set up my
ahead, Emmett.
stuff and then give me like 5 minutes.
Do
Can you
it
hear me?
now. Do it now.
Do it now.
Well,
Do it.
Fine.
Do it now.
Do it.
Do it.
I haven't been exhausted, but K2 reminded me I haven't checked out Helldivers since the new patch, so I might go live and do that. I'm not sure. I didn't have anything else planned except for I need to finish up doing a diagram network, like a new network diagram. Like I was able to recover most of my stuff. Like I thought all of it, but there's some things that are missing. Like my home lab network drawings. So like going through, I started and I've only done it once so far. I'm going through the whole process of how you would do essentially network engineering for a home lab.
Oh wow!
Starting with I'm extracting information out of my existing gear and then using that as a basis for the plan, and then like going through, make your spreadsheet, make your drawing, and then
what you could do?
Things like that.
Could make a handbook from what you're doing.
Yeah, a guide. Yeah, that's kind of what making a video of it first, and then maybe some kind of companion workbook or something.
Yeah, you could make like a handy dandy notebook.
Somebody suggested, and I think I'm there to like how to, because I'm using previous generation enterprise gear at home, but like what's the best bang per buck, low power that takes up a small footprint to get somebody essentially close to enterprise level network at home with like storage and like network authentication and like the whole shebang, centrally managed WAPs for enterprise Wi-Fi at home.
Mm-hmm.
This kind of stuff, and like that's something that I can do.
This is also the kind of thing where as you're doing it, you're like, I really could use this thing that doesn't exist, and I'm going to make it. And then you make it, and then you're a bajillionaire because you made the thing that people were looking for that didn't exist until you made the thing.
I could become a Brazilianaire.
You could. It could happen. I'm not saying it will happen, but it could happen.
It's Brazilian.
I have a friend. That his dad worked construction, and as he was working construction, he realized there's this like bracket that didn't exist, and it would help immensely in building homes. And so he designed this bracket, and he made the first few, and then he sent out to have a machine shop make some, and then ended up contracting an actual manufacturer to make them, and he patented them, and now that guy's a bajillionaire. So, just saying, it can happen. It just takes one invention that doesn't exist that is a need. Like he saw a need, he filled the need, and now he's wealthy for it. So,
necessity is the mother of invention, right?
It is indeed. It is indeed. Necessity is the mother of invention.
Funny thing, I have a 3D printer. It's actually less than 8 feet away from me. It's still in the box.
Same,
I'm
but
probably
mine's
doing
not
an
in the
unboxing
box.
of it.
I need a new extruder for mine, though.
That's gonna be another. That's gonna be like one of my first like big investments into myself, because 3D printers are great for trying to prototype race car parts.
And solving like little problems, like just it can make this
Oh,
happen.
yeah.
I work in metal and wood. Plastic is just natural.
Mine's an Ender, but I'd like to.
Creative Ender V3. Yeah, I guess same one.
Yeah,
or one of them. They make a whole bunch of different.
Same with all the Creality stuff, and yeah, it works pretty decent. But like I said, my extruder got plugged, and then I don't know if I can clean it and continue to use it or not. But I'd like to go with some aftermarket parts, because there's some for like higher temperature and better blending and stuff. So future stuff. I haven't even used it in a long time. It's been sitting there in the office. I need to.
I don't want to sound bougie or like, oh yeah, I'm so too good, but like when my VA benefits get updated and I get my back pay, I'm looking at probably getting a Bamboo Labs A1.
I've heard some good things about the more recent Bamboo stuff. I'm just not too into it right now.
That sounds really cool, though.
Does it sound good?
Yeah, I've got a couple projects I could definitely use a 3D printer for, like trying to custom fabricate caps to cover electrical terminals that go through the firewall. So those caps will both protect the spicy part of this terminal where the electricity goes through the firewall from both catching my my carpet interior on fire from underneath, as well as protect the outside from the elements and things. Yeah, fire is not good inside of a car. It's best preferred to have that like.
It sounds like amateur hour right now. I don't think you know what you're talking about.
I like
Fire,
to limit where a fire occurs to.
I think fire's always good,
because that's kind of where it's
Pshaw.
engineered for it. Yeah, I know. Right? Like, come on.
So, what did you mean? What do you mean about the last debate? I felt. Where did that go? I'm trying to look. Let's see. What was the last debate you felt that happened? I don't know what that means.
Oh, while he's figuring that out, race car. I've moved on. So my next project truck that will become a daily driver, and maybe for a possible advertisement for a business venture. So first gen Tundra crew cab, but instead of a Cummins either 6BT or 4BT, Isuzu 4BD1T, which is very similar to a 4BD or 4BT, except it's shorter and has a lot better manners on road. Still no timing chain, still timing gears. It's like almost the same thing, except also it has sleeved pistons.
Geared timing is ultimately the way to go, because you'll never lose timing, and you have to like really fuck up for your timing to get fucked
That's
up.
why the Cummins B series is like, yeah, it's a 1,000,000-mile engine if you change the oil and
There was
it's not
there
quite
was an Audi / VW V10 that they did a geared timing for, and I forgot what it was, but those things are absolutely fucking bulletproof.
It's like, why is this not more common? I don't understand it. Chains are cool and all, but gears are
But
not
the whole
really
the
fallible.
problem with gears versus a chain is you lose the ability to do variable valve timing. I'm sorry, Abe.
Yeah.
We
Oh yeah, I'm like,
I don't care.
This is how it ends up. This is how it ends up on if I ever like if Grid and I are ever on show, whether it's his show or wherever, like end up digressing into.
I mean,
Porsches
generally,
or whatever.
yeah.
we're nerds.
You fall to your baser interests. I get it. It's okay. It's okay. It's natural.
I don't have to worry about timing for shit in a rotary engine. It's literally two fucking spinning triangles on a stick.
That's what she said.
You just you tune the ignition timing and that's it. Like there's nothing. It's great. It's reliable. Except for the rubber bands that keep the coolant out of your oil pan and out of the combustion chamber. Those kind of will shit the bed sometimes. And that's not
But
good.
your apex seals, rubber
No,
pants.
no, not the apex seals.
All right.
Coolant seals.
Gentlemen, I'm going to send you off into the abyss.
The abyss.
The great abyss. No, I'm gonna raid everyone over to Emmett. God bless everyone in the chat. Give him a like, give him a sub. He's an awesome dude. And I will either be back on later this evening after Emmett maybe, or I'll be on tomorrow. Either way, I've said this already a few times. I'm actually going full time. So I'm looking at possibly doing twice a day streams, a few days a week, or like 3 days a week, and then long stream Saturday evenings. I'm still working on the schedule, but I will be on either way tomorrow. So make sure you're watching. God bless you all, and have fun at Emmett's. See you later.
Keep it sexy.
Keep it sexy.